All right. Hello, and welcome to Famicast 122, your Famicast for the latter part of March 2018. I'm Danny, and I'm joined here today by James Charlton.
No, seriously, where's Cyrus?
Son of a bitch ran out on us, didn't he?
What?
Yeah, it's a sad story. Rest in
Best
peace.
of luck to him.
Yes. And we are also joined by Ty Schugert.
Hello, my friend. Have you tried LSD?
Not yet. I know exactly what you're talking about, though. So, first, I just want to tell everybody out there, you're welcome. The whole reason why there was a Nintendo Direct was because, well, us, obviously. So you can thank whatever, us, and whatever gods you pray to or whatever for that. You're welcome. And also, not only one, but you also got an indie showcase as well. So
right.
Yeah, there you go.
Like clockwork.
Yeah.
It's true. Well, Cyrus actually, rest in peace, he actually announced it during the last episode, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Well, at the beginning, he kind of spookily said there probably will be a Nintendo Direct announced during the show, and sure enough.
Yes. Yeah, that was pretty weird. But anyways, before we get to all of that, we're going to go ahead and kick off the show with new business. And James, would you mind kicking?
Okay. Man, took me by surprise. You always do like me last recently.
Yeah. Thought I'd change it up a little bit. Or just after, actually, it was literally at the top of my head. There was no plan.
Or just return to the usual. Man, I've been playing a lot of stuff, actually. Okay, totally brand new stuff. Did I talk about Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 Plus yesterday? That is the full title, by the way.
Yesterday? Or you mean the last show?
The last show.
Or yesterday.
I think you did, because I chimed in on that a little bit.
Yeah, I
think I just said I bought it.
Yes.
And I haven't played it. Well, I've played it a lot more since then.
Okay.
And I streamed a whole bunch of it. And it is very cool, actually. I mean, the first one is still not on Nintendo systems. So they just went straight to the second one for whatever reason. And I wonder, actually, because, well, Ty, you've played both, right?
Yeah, the first one more so.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the second one seems a very extravagant. Sorry, the second one seems to they've gone really extravagant with the animations and stuff. So like when you do the ghost stream, the string of ghosts, it goes this like fucking 3D and like camera pans around, Matrix style. It's like, I don't know. I kind of remember seeing videos of the first one. And I like the kind of look of it maybe better. Just like it was more like traditional Pac-Man, but just souped up, like on acid, kind of thing.
Right.
This one they've tried to like, okay, how can we mix it up again? It's like but for Nintendo people, it's not mixing it up again. This is the first time we're experiencing it, so it's like we're going to like level 11 from the get-go kind of thing.
True,
right.
But I mean, the first one came out quite a while ago. What was that, like 2000?
Yeah, well,
probably almost a decade ago.
What they've done is they've added this. It's like two games in one. It's like when you start the game, it's like it gives you an option of two quote unquote games. It's like Championship Edition 2 and this two-player one. This two-player, man, I forgot what they call it, but it's like whatever, Championship Edition 2-player or something like that. And so it treats it like a completely separate, game. And it's like, instead of that, maybe just have Championship Edition 1 and 2. That would have been a better set, in my opinion. But I guess they just wanted to do the whole, split Joy-Con, let's play together kind of thing that everyone's trying to push on the Switch, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I did play a little bit with my son. I thought, well, this could be simple enough. And it was actually, it's a lot slower paced than the single player mode. Okay. Like the whole speed of the game is slower. I guess I should have talked about that first, but anyway, the two player is kind of interesting. Like you're both on the screen at the same time, and you basically, you collect all the dots, and then like a fruit appears in your mouth immediately when all the dots are gone, I think, and then but you can't collect that fruit until you kind of go together and you form together. It basically looks like they're kissing. like the blue Pac-Man and the yellow Pac-Man are kissing. So
it's
you
not
kiss.
Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man?
No, it's not. That's weird,
That's
right?
a missed opportunity.
Absolutely, right?
That's the gay agenda.
Exactly. But it's two gay Pac-Man making out, which is fine,
Right.
Man, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Miss Pac-Man would have made so much more sense. But anyway, I'm fine with that. And then when you go together, it kind of explodes, and then you go into the next stage, kind of thing. Well, each level is like broken up into like 4 or 5 screens, I guess, and then you get to a boss. And the boss mode is kind of interesting. It like basically, man, it's kind of hard to describe, but like there's a 3D pixel block ghost in the background, like a huge one, and you have to collect the dots, but you can kind of jump up. So it's kind of like, it looks from screenshots, it would look the same as a Pac-Man maze, but it's actually, you can kind of, it's the top of the screen is like the roof, and the bottom of the screen is the ground. So it's kind of like semi 3D kind of thing. A general Pac-Man maze, it's a bird's eye view, right? But this is like, yeah, like I said, you can actually jump to the top and then you fall to the bottom kind of thing. So, and you can kind of jump as much as you want, and then you collect all the dots around the sides of the room, and then you get a power pellet, and then you can damage the boss. So that's like a totally different like take on Pac-Man, right? It's like, it's crazy different, right? And it is cool. It's very interesting, and it's quite challenging. It's a lot easier in 2-player, I noticed. Maybe they're doing that on purpose because they want, just casual players to just jump in and then play together and have fun.
Sure.
The single player's adventure mode is fucking brutal. Like literally, like it's time limited, right? And unfortunately, there aren't any classic Pac-Man modes. You can't just say, "Oh, I just want to chill out with like a regular Pac-Man game." This is all you got. You got adventure mode, and you got solo, just like going for points, kind of like endless mode or whatever, right? But if you play the adventure mode, like you basically have to get enough dots for a fruit to appear. Grab the fruit, go on to the next screen, but you're like within seconds each time. It's like you're getting all the dots. You've got like 5 seconds left. You're like, shit, you need like a few more dots, and then the fruit appears, and then you have to get back to the middle of the stage to grab it to get to the next screen. And pretty much every screen, you're like on the money kind of thing. You got at least like 3, 2, 1. You grab the fruit, like shit, next level, and then you go through that maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 screens before you get to the boss. And the time does get added on. So if you get good and you get there fast enough, those seconds will carry on to the next screen.
Okay.
But like literally every single second counts. It's crazy. Like I just couldn't believe how challenging it was from like 1-1 on the adventure mode. Because like the training, it's got a very good training mode, actually, very good training mode. It takes you through all the aspects very gradually. And the final training mode is basically just preparing you for the adventure mode. Like you need to do this to get onto the next screen, etc., etc. And like, I barely passed the training mode. I was like, okay, fuck, that's they really want you to, be good to get ready for the adventure mode. And then, yeah, it's like another 10 steps beyond that, level 1-1. It's crazy. So like just to get to the boss on 1-1 is like, it's incredibly challenging. I just couldn't believe how hard it was. I was like, what? This is not Pac-Man. This is not your daddy's Pac-Man. This is like balls to the wall, like, within seconds, you have to hit every mark. You basically have to memorize the maze. You have to memorize the placements of the fruit. And just like, don't mess up. You have to make sure you're doing the best path to get the dots in the pellets or whatever they're called in the best way. The only thing that they've added to make it easier is that you can do this bomb jump. So you'd hit A and Pac-Man kind of bounces back to the middle. But they're limited. So I think you get like maybe 3. So like say you collect your last dot and you're like way onto the far right of the screen. You can press A, you'll bounce back to the middle and grab the fruit immediately and then go on to the next screen. But you can't use that too much because you'll run out, and then as it gets harder, you'll probably need those more, right? Yeah. So yeah, the 2-player mode I think is a lot more fun. Like the speed is a lot slower as well. The general speed of the game is like maybe half speed. I would guess at around about half speed. The single play is like super fast. Like, and I actually kind of ran into the problem that I heard some people having with the Pro controller. Do you remember this? Like back when it first came out, like there was this whole thing on a couple of guys on NWR were really complaining about this. Do you remember, Danny, about the D-pad? So like you press right and it kind of like hits up at the same time. It's like it's not clear digital sometimes. And I never understood what they were talking about. I was like, what are you talking about? It's like fine. It's like best like controller I've ever had in my life. What are you talking about? But then I realized that all the games I was playing didn't really use the D-pad in that sense, in that way so much. But Pac-Man, obviously, you know, you need immediate and digital precision to go around the corners like as fast as possible, right? And without, you know, hitting the wall and slowing down, right? And then I realized that it isn't quite as responsive as you want. Like when you're going from right and then to up, like quickly, like there is this kind of like little, like, I don't know, smudginess, like little kind of like not clear digitalness to it that I'd never realized with any other game up to this point. And I was thinking like, shit, if this is not the best way to do it, like on the control sticks, I guess. And it's like, I was actually having more luck with the control sticks, which I was really surprised by. But, you know, I guess Pac-Man traditionally is a stick-based game anyway.
I'll tell you what you got to do, James. You got to get a stick.
Arcade stick.
Yeah, you got to get one of these, the custom Brook board. You got to slap that in. You got to wire it yourself. And then there's the best controller you've ever had.
There it is.
Cool. It is. Tune in next time. See what I made.
No, James, I know what you're talking about. Like some games, like I think when I was playing Axiom Verge, I was playing like pretty much half and half, like in handheld mode, and then also, you know, on the TV with my Pro. But it seemed to me that I had better control over my character when I was using the D-pad, or the weird D-pad on the handheld mode, believe it or not. It just seemed like I had more, it was just a little bit more accurate.
With Axiom Verge?
Yeah. And
yeah, you see, I guess I was playing on Wii U back then, wasn't I?
Yeah, that's a good D-pad.
Yeah, the Wii U Pro and it D-pad is I would say much better actually than the Switch Pro. And I never thought I'd be saying that, like saying Wii U tech is better than anything on the Switch. But when it comes to this specific D-pad, and apparently the latest, what is it, the Xenoblade Special Edition is better, apparently. And they're going to be rolling out, and they're phasing out the Splatoon one, which is the one I have anyway. So they'll be going soon. So, and if they do reissue it, it'll probably have the new D-pad. But yeah, Pac-Man brought to light this issue, which I hadn't had up to this point. And yeah, I'm now thinking about, you know, like Street Fighter or something like that coming up, you know, Street Fighter Collection.
It's so mushy, like the D-pad, you know, on the Pro controller. It's just kind of
like it does feel like you're pressing all four directions at once sometimes.
Not quite as bad as like a Dreamcast D-pad. I mean, that's awful. But
yeah, but you would think like this is Nintendo. You know, they usually have pretty good D-pads. You know,
why? It's like, why the hell can't they just go back to like an SNES D-pad or like, you know, an NES D-pad or something?
Well, just use the fucking Wii U Pro one. That was fucking fine.
I mean, exactly.
Absolutely fine. I think the comfort level is better. Like the overall feeling of it is better because the Wii U one was a little bit edgy. Like a little sharp, you know, that would like start to cut your thumbs after a while. But like the precision was fantastic, right? So if they could just like kind of get a nice level between those, it would be fine. So yeah, I don't know where I'm going with the review for this game because like, yeah, it's all over the shop. I haven't really collected my thoughts, which is why I did a stream and not a video review yet. You know, I'll get there eventually when I can kind of collect my thoughts, how I feel about this game. You know, I can't blame the controller and I can't blame my lack of skills in single player. And it's like, you know, the 2-player is fun. I'll give it that. And, you know, it's a reasonable price. So it's not like you're going to feel ripped off for like, you know, whatever it is, 15 100 yen, you know, whatever, $15, whatever this is, you know, it's not the end of the world, and it seems to be a good, fun to play game. So the next thing I'll talk about, Octopath. Well, Octopath Traveler. That's right? It's called Octopath Traveler, right?
Yes.
Seems so fucking stupid. Bravely Default Flying Fairy. From the creators of all the shitty RPGs that you like.
Don't you dare take Bravely Default.
Shittily named RPGs.
That's fair enough.
Sorry. Got that wrong. Got to get my insults right. So yeah, I don't. Well, obviously, you know, me and Ty share an equal disrespect for RPGs. Like, I've only ever played like 3 in my life. I think I've said this before: Pokemon Blue, Secret of Mana, and Golden Sun.
Those are the only Project Octopath Traveler demo.
And yeah. There you go. I've played a lot of demos of RPGs, like, you know, fucking TGS. Come on, you can't walk 10 meters without bumping into a demo of an RPG. Yes. TGS. But those 3 are the only ones I've, you know, owned and completed, you know, and, you know, enjoyed at some level. So, like, I don't know why this one attracted me so much. Like, it was probably the visual style. Like, I just wanted to see what it looked like, you know, in action, kind of thing, because it does look kind of amazing. Like, you know, this kind of like 3D with like depth of field, but with like SNES sprites. I mean, it is very eye-catching. You know, even if you hate RPGs, you can't ignore the fact it does look pretty, you know, unique and interesting and kind of amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I thought I'd give it a shot, and I did enjoy it, and it is a very good demo, I would say. Like, you can choose 2 characters, right? I chose the guy who's like a warrior, and basically the whole shtick with this game is that everyone has a unique kind of path that they can take in the story, and this guy he can fight anyone. So like, well, I think Ty might get a kick out of that. Like, when you go to like an RPG village and there's some like annoying guy there, well, the difference with this game, well, with this character, is that you can just fight the person. It's just like literally anyone, like a woman sweeping up outside a house, like an old man, some annoying drunk dude in town. You can just fucking fuck them up. Anyone you want.
Children too?
There is a child that kind of attacks you, but you can't fight him. I don't think. It's just like just in a cutscene. Yeah.
Let me tell you about a little game called Fallout 2.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Okay, so in the Fallout games, you can kill anybody anytime. There's gonna be consequences or whatever.
Or whatever.
Yeah, but in Fallout 1 or 2, there were also children that you could kill.
Good.
Shit.
Yeah, it was extremely fucked up, and they don't do that anymore. But, okay, so yeah, in Fallout 3 onwards, they're immortal gods.
Oh, okay, you're right.
And that one McGreedy kid is super fucking smug about it too.
Oh, he goes like, "Ha ha, can't kill me."
No, but he's an asshole.
Okay. Oh man, they're playing it up as well.
Yeah, so in Fallout 2, it really tries to tempt you into getting into fights with children for some reason. Like, there's this town where there's these little street urchins that like just steal from you. They just pocket random items out of your inventory.
Oh, they're testing you.
Yeah. And so like you can try to just pocket them back or something. Or what I would do is I would just stow all my inventory somewhere and then just like arm dynamite and carry that and walk past all of them.
So they stole the live dynamite.
Yeah, and then a minute later they blow up. The game is amazing.
You've only got yourself to blame, right?
All right, yeah. So tell me more about your children murdering simulator.
Or not.
Oh.
So yeah, you start off in this town, and you quickly get this, ability to challenge anyone, they call it. So like I think the only person you can't is the guy who saves your game, which makes sense.
Okay.
And to be clear, you're not killing these people. You're just kind of like knocking the shit out of them, so they just kind of collapse on the ground. So yeah, you start off, and then this kid is kidnapped, and then you have to go, classic RPG thing, rescue the child from these caves, and it's like turn-based battles and stuff. They do explain. There are some kind of like tutorial screens that show up, and I just kind of skip all them, like, yeah, blah blah blah, TLDR, and then that always comes to bite me in the ass later when I don't understand how any of the systems work. And it was true, because there was loads of things which I didn't know until quite far into the the demo. But it was
RTFM,
fun.
James. RTFM.
RTFM.
Read the fucking manual.
Right. TLDR. But it was interesting, because like every enemy has these like icons at the bottom, which usually start off as a question mark, and that's their weakness. So if you hit them with a sword, and that's their weakness, then that question mark will turn into a sword. It's like, okay, that was a good hit. He doesn't like swords. So then you'll know that you are right to do that kind of thing. And the thing that I didn't know is that, well, I knew that you could press R to kind of charge up your shot. But what I didn't know is that you could press R up to 3 times to get it more powerful. And in the top right, there's these kind of like 5 stars. You start off with 5, and then every time you hit, you kind of lose 1. So if you attack 5 times in a row, those 5 stars will go down. And those stars let you charge up. So if you say, for example, if you're tactical, you could actually just defend for 5 turns. So this does sound like Bravely Default, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So like it doesn't say Brave and Default. It's just literally you can choose to attack or defend,
sure.
or use magic or whatever, right? So, and it took me ages to work all this out, and I was like, oh, okay, so if I just wait, or if I use an item, or just chill out for a few turns, then I can charge up to like level 4 and then smack the shit out of this guy and take like fucking 1,000 HP off him in one hit. And that was pretty cool. And I actually needed to use those tactics for the boss. There is a boss at the end of the demo, and so yeah, that was pretty cool working that out. But the problem was that the boss requires you to have a certain level, and this is why a big reason why I don't like RPGs is that you get to certain points in the game and it's like, nope, you're not getting any further, and it's like, well, why not? Like, why can't I defeat this boss? It's like he's got an unfair amount of HP, and my attacks do nothing, and I'm using the right skills against him. I'm using my scissors against his paper, but it's not affecting him as it should, right? And then it kind of clicked on me. It's like, well, maybe if I just grind for a bit, maybe I just grind up a few levels, this might change. Because like my HP was only like 300 HP, and I was like, okay, so I grinded from like level like 5 up to like level 9, and I had like 500 HP, and my attacks were stronger, and then I could easily defeat the boss. And I was like, okay, yeah, so I was right. So yeah, that's one thing I don't like about RPGs, and this is no different in that it requires you to grind up to a certain point. But I don't know how you feel about that. Some people despise it. And in this little demo, this little self-contained demo, which like it's only got like I only played through one character, and it took me like maybe an hour and a half worth of content, which I think is pretty amazing for a demo.
Yeah.
So in this little self-contained demo, it was fine. I was absolutely fine, like grinding. But then I thought, wait a minute, if I buy the whole game, like that, I'm going to go through scores of bosses and villages and other areas, and like, God knows whatever, how long this game is going to be. And it's like, well, how much grinding am I going to have to do with 8 characters as well? So, you know what I mean? So then I thought, this is a fantastic demo, and I don't really have too much bad to say about it, but it still didn't convince me that to buy the game, because it's just the fact that I don't have the time enough time to put that much kind of grinding time into a game.
Sure.
So like if you're maybe I could dedicate like all my commute time to doing that kind of thing, but it's not some. I'd rather be playing other games. You know, I got a lot of other stuff to be playing. So
I know for me, when it comes to grinding in RPGs, it's usually for me with any RPG, it's usually a few things will determine whether I'm going to keep going with it. And one is if the battle system is good. If it's good and it's actually fun to do, even through like little battles, I'm good with it. Like with Bravely Default, I loved it. It was a lot of fun.
In that case, I think you'll really like Octopath Traveler then.
And especially with Bravely, it's like they had so many like customizable like options with when you're on the field, you can turn off enemy encounters and
you probably will be able to do that in this. I'm sure of it. Not in the demo though.
Sure, no, that's okay. I mean, if it's something short, that's fine. You know, another thing for me too, if the story is interesting enough, I'll be, even if I'm not having that great of a time with the battle system, I'll power through it.
Yeah, the voice acting was good. It's in the cutscenes at least, like it's fully voice acted and pretty good voice acting as well. For the rest of it, they just kind of, you know, utter an initial phrase, and then the rest of it is just you have to read it.
Gotcha.
So it's like, I see, and then something like that. Yeah. That's all he says. Yeah, and then a whole paragraph that you have to read, right? But you know, even that, you know, it's well done and it kind of fits in well. So like I defeated the boss, and then you kind of go back to the village, and then you can challenge all the people in the village. And then I noticed that when I was doing that, I was actually unlocking, well, not unlocking, but like doing these kind of side quests. So like I kind of mentioned this drunk guy earlier. So you go into this bar, and there's this drunk asshole in the bar. So of course I, you know, challenge him to a fight and beat the 7 shades of shit out of him. And then so he's like lying, you know, unconscious on the floor in a, you know, bloody heap. And then it turns out, you know, this guy was like an alcoholic, and he was like ignoring his family and stuff like that. And then, you know, some other guy comes in and says, "Oh, finally, someone beat the shit out of this guy and smack some fucking sense into him." I'm paraphrasing. Paraphrasing. And so it turns out, you know, me beating the shit out of him was a good thing. And he came to his senses and is like, and he reconnects with his son, and, you know, it's a happy ending for that little, you know, side story. So I think it's going to be lots of things like that. So Danny, I suggested that you go through with the female, the dancer, because I think it's completely different, and she allures people as opposed to.
It's kind of fucked up. If I remember from whenever this demo released back in September, it sounded like it was fucked up. I mean, but you know, whatever.
Have fun.
As long as it's interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, I captured a whole stream of me playing through that, so you can get my pro tips. Well, not really pro tips. Tips that took me fucking hours to work out, when, you know, an RPG person would have worked it out in minutes. But, you know, whatever. Sue me. But yeah, good times. And there's even like more stuff even after you defeat the boss. You know, you can revisit the village, do more stuff, and lots of stuff to find. So it's a really, really good demo. Man, what else have we got? Oh man, Splatoon 2. I mean, me and Cyrus were talking about this. Splatoon 2's single player is a bit of a slog. I gave up maybe around about World 2, and we pinpointed it on the fact that the levels are too long, much too long. They're probably about 4 times longer than Splatoon 1's levels. That's not an exaggeration. Literally 4 times longer, and so they do outstay their welcome. And man, in the last world, they're not fucking kidding. Some of them, I mean, we're talking like 8 times longer than a Splatoon 1 level. I mean, it was like I just wanted to like save and quit. It's like, you know, is there a save point I'm supposed to have here that I can just quit and come back later? You know, it was like maybe 20 minutes. I mean, none of the stages in Splatoon 1 are more than like, you know, 4 or 5 minutes. You can fucking speed run those things, right? They're like just little short, you know, little challenges, you know. So that Splatoon 2 ones is a lot more difficult, a lot more involved. There's a lot more like puzzles, a lot more platforming. You can die a lot easier, and they're much, 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 much longer. So that kind of equals like a lot of frustration, you know. It's not as fun. It's not as streamlined. So But saying that, I slugged through it and I defeated the final boss finally. So I just kind of wanted to do it in preparation for the expansion. So and yeah, the final boss is it's weird because most of the single player in Splatoon 2 is harder than Splatoon 1, but the last boss is way easier. It's very, very strange. Like so yeah, a little bit disappointing in that sense. A lot fewer stages to him, and each stage was like way easier than it was in Splatoon 1. Like I remember Splatoon 1, like the final stage of him, you know, it was quite tricky to like, you know, not die at certain points, you know. But this one, it was like, yeah, an absolute cakewalk. So that was a bit
disappointing.
And but yeah, anyway, it's done. It's done. It's out the way.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet. I mean, I don't. The only thing I do if I play Splatoon 2 is just turf war. So
okay. Yeah, it's funny. Like they had all these cool ideas for the single player, and you know, like allowing you to use other weapons on any stage and stuff like that. But like they expect you to use like all 8 variations of weapons on every single stage. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. That's how many is that? That's like 60 stages, and then 8 weapons each. Like you do the math. How many is that? How many times are you gonna have to complete the levels? It's stupid.
No,
I'm not gonna do that.
Hell no.
But it was nice having a variety of weapons. I give it that. Like, you know, Splatoon 1, you've only got the standard shooter, right? For the whole thing, unless you buy the amiibos.
I did. Didn't open them, so.
Yeah, but this one, you know, you got snipers, you got rollers, you got whatever dualies. So, and they do puzzles based around those as well. So it's pretty cool. And then briefly, very briefly, because I've only played it briefly, is Doom.
Woo!
Which Cyrus has got a lovely video review up on the YouTube channel for that. Yeah, like Doom, man, this is Natsukashi. I was amazed how Natsukashi it was. That, you know, like taking me back to original Doom. I just got the chainsaw, by the way,
Nice.
and I was like, shit, man, this is fun. This is really, really fun, and yeah, looking forward to getting into it more. It's a shame that Cyrus is like leaving Japan right now, because, you know, could have had a chance to like play together, but it's not going to work out. But
yeah, well, you know, from hearing Ty talk about it so much in the past, from hearing Sai talk about it last time, and then just
yeah.
Man, I really think I'm gonna bite the bullet and just pick it up. I was really, man, it was on sale back around Christmas, I think, like on the US store for like $40 or something. Missed my chance.
There are very few games that all 4 of us play and like. Have you noticed that? I think Shovel Knight, maybe, and then maybe Doom, if you get Doom. Like I can't think of any other games where all 4 of us have played it and all 4 of us like it. It's kind of amazing how rare that occurrence happens, isn't it? Yeah, you can't think of anything else, right?
I can't.
Because it's hard, because like Ty doesn't like have a Switch, and it's like, you know, I don't have an X-Bone or whatever, so there's like, you know, there's some kind of thing that can't cross over there, right?
Or all the other platforms.
All the other platforms.
I have all the other platforms.
Oh shit, I forgot you bought a PS4 recently.
Yeah.
So yeah, good times. So yeah, I'll play more of that, and maybe play with Danny, question mark.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah, I'm just in awe at how amazing it looks. Like I just can't get over that this is running on the fucking tiny little tablet thing. It's just ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. Oh, and I'm trying out the motion control as well, like Cyrus suggested, and I've adjusted them to be pretty much Splatoon style controls, which is pretty cool. It's not really needed this early in the game, but I heard later on, well, watching Cyrus's video review, you know, seeing all those kind of flying enemies and stuff like that, you're definitely going to need that kind of y-axis, quick y-axis motion would come in useful, I assume. So yeah, good times. It's a lot of games for me.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah. Well, Ty, do you want to go ahead and go next?
Sure, why not?
Okay. What do you got for us?
So I've actually been preparing to move a couple cities over and not been playing many games, but you know, I know that we record the show, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna throw in some once again, I'm gonna throw in some of the weirdest fucking games I can find so I can talk about them.
Ramen Master 2.
Yeah, no noodle game this time, I'm afraid.
Boo.
Okay, so first I played NES classic, everyone's favorite.
Yep.
KARNOV.
Oh, not Bible Avengers?
Okay, have you guys played KARNOV?
No, I have not.
I've only barely heard of it.
All right, so KARNOV, made by Data East, I believe, is an amazingly surreal game. You know, you slap it in, it almost looks like a generic video game. You run to the right, you shoot little fireballs, and you're like this like Russian strongman, and then like you have the weirdest fucking enemies coming out. Like, okay, first you have like these indecipherable little things you can't even tell what they are. They come flying down out of the sky at you. Then you have like these stone golems. They throw boulders at you. Then you have this thing that looks like Yoda in a nest. And then you have like a masturbating fish.
Soviet era Russia. It's some strange times to be there, I guess, huh?
Right. So this is like drugs, the game. So like
drugs, the game.
Yeah, I look in the manual like, what is the story of this game? Right? And it's like KARNOV is looking for the treasure. And like that's it. Get the treasure.
Does this have the official Nintendo seal of approval?
Fuck yeah, it does.
Oh shit.
Yep. This isn't KARNOV's only adventure either.
Wow.
Yeah. He was in a fighting game. He shows up as an enemy in another game. And I guess this was an arcade game before it was an NES game. So there's a whole KARNOV legacy here.
Wow.
It has really great music. If you ever listen to it, like it's catchy as fuck. In fact, if you have an extremely good memory going back like 10 or 15 years ago, Something Awful made a Flash game called Dance Dance KARNOV.
Really?
Yeah, it had a remixed music from this, and it's just like this joke game, but it's amazing. So like I kind of mentally teleported myself back to like 1988, and I thought, what would be my thought if I like slapped this in? As like this is the kind of game like one of your parents gets without like really looking at the games, just like, oh, this looks good.
Wow.
Here you go.
Some giant muscly guy on the front.
Yeah, and like you play it and nothing makes any sense.
So you're playing the NES version, not
Yeah.
the Neo Geo one or whatever? Okay.
That's right.
Wow.
So I highly suggest just trying it out for like the full measure of like surreal weird NES game.
Wow.
Right.
I got some facts for you here, looking at the KARNOV Wikipedia page,
Hit me up.
which is not something that I recommend. But anyway, apparently KARNOV takes 2 hits to die instead of just 1 in the NES.
That's right. He turns blue.
Yeah, yeah. The Super Fireball is replaced with the Spike Bomb, which destroys every enemy on screen.
Right.
Okay.
Sure.
Levels 4 and 8 are completely different from the arcade levels. And the final boss is no longer the wizard, but a 3-headed dragon.
Wow. Those are both extremely video game bosses.
The wizard and the dragon, yeah. Yeah, and the Famicom version is apparently more difficult because it has limited continues.
Yeah, limited continues. We're OG here.
And NES is unlimited continues.
Really?
Yeah. So are you playing the American one?
Good question. I don't remember.
Well, apparently the American one is easy mode and the Japanese one is hard mode. So
I don't think there's like any in-game text, so it doesn't matter. You pick up these icons with the letter K, and I don't know what they do.
The developers don't either. It's weird,
right?
Right. Exactly.
All right. Now I played an even weirder game.
Uh-oh.
Hold on to your asses.
Yeah, I played Gotta Protectors, Amazon's Running Diet.
Okay.
Gotta protect. That sounds familiar, Gotta Protectors, but I actually have no idea what it is.
Oh, I'm about to tell you. Okay, so this is an NES game, but it was made in the last year or two.
Okay.
It's a free download, and it's just an NES ROM. It's Gotta Protectors is a Switch game. It's basically a promotion for, right, or 3DS. I don't know, but it's the same guys that made Protect Me Night. You got Yuzo Koshiro making those chip tunes, right? Have you played Protect Me Night? I've hyped this game up numerous times in the past.
Protect Me Night?
Yes.
For like a Flash game?
I don't know if there is a Flash version. Like, I think it came out on 3DS or something, and it came out on like Xbox 360 indie games, and there's probably a PC one. I don't know.
The Japanese and English versions have very different art styles on the box. That's hilarious.
Hey.
Protect Me Night.
Yeah, the classic.
Ancient. Okay. Developed by Ancient.
Right.
No, I don't know anything about this game.
Okay, so let me tell you about Protect Me Night. It's godlike. It's like an amazing co-op game. It's kind of like I don't want to say it's like Tower Defense because it's not. It's like it's kind of it almost feels like Secret of Mana. It's like a one screen kind of thing where you have to protect this princess from waves of enemies that come in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. You have 4 different characters. Fuck, I can't remember what they are. There's like Ninja, Amazon, Warrior, and Cleric or something. I don't know.
So the Japanese one is called Mamotte Night.
Yes.
Which I guess means protect me.
Yes.
Protect me.
So it's an extremely good game just to surprise people with when you want to play co-op.
Nice.
All right. So many years after this, I guess they're coming out with something else, and they just made an NES game, just for shit and giggles. They put it up for free on their website, and nice. It has the Amazon character from Protect Me Night, and she's looking kind of thick. So you're playing like this this forced scrolling running game where you have to just run and like dodge cupcakes and get the water and get as far as you can.
Oh, it's an endless runner.
Yeah.
But NES graphics.
Yeah. And it actually will work on an NES if you dump it onto like a flash card. Yeah, I went on YouTube, found a guy that did it. So that's cool. And that's kind of amazing because the sprite is like gigantic for the Amazon. It's like almost half the height of the screen or something. I don't know.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's like I've never seen an NES game do that, where it make the player character this giant sprite.
Wouldn't the NES just explode?
Yeah, but I guess it doesn't because they figured out some good programming tricks in the last 30 years.
Ty, do you ever have a dream where you have a time machine and you go back in time and you program like the most amazing NES game, which is like better than anyone's ever seen because you have 2018 knowledge?
Yeah.
Me too. I guess the guy who programmed Retro City Rampage probably has that dream.
Yeah, he actually I remember that he made a video about like trying to port Retro City Rampage to the NES or some of the technology tricks he did. It's like okay, this is what happens when I don't try to cut corners.
Right.
And it was really interesting, like having like the free like 8-way scrolling or whatever is wild. So yeah, I think that there's some clever programming going on here with Amazon's Running Diet.
It's like when Dr. Evil is playing What If God Was One of Us on the piano, and he goes, yeah, I wrote that. Back in the 60s or whatever.
Right. So yeah, this will be yet another episode where I give out a glowing endorsement of Protect Me Knight.
Nice. Protect Me Knight. Yeah, it does look like an NES game.
Yeah, it's definitely got the style. I mean, it's a widescreen game, and Yuzo Koshiro is a chiptune music legend. Streets of Rage, ActRaiser, etc.
That music's.
Yep. So check this shit out.
Yeah, I like this new this thing that Ty's got going on, playing weird old NES games, or weird old new NES games this week.
Just the weirdest stuff. It's great.
Yeah, it's my strong suit, like history and weird games.
It is.
Only on the Famicast.com.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll keep going with it. I'll just try to find the weirdest fucking shit I can.
That's right.
So next month, it's the baby game with the zapper.
Oh god. Oh man, only patrons know that joke.
Right. I can't remember the name of that fucking game. It was one.
You'll find it.
It was one of the ones put out by Color Dreams on like the bootlegish blue cartridges in the US. I think it was able to boot up on the NES without the boot code by short circuiting the for like a half second.
Right. Don't play it too much, kids.
So it won't work in a top loader.
Nice.
Cool.
So Danny, what weird shit have you been playing?
Well, not that weird, but it is
Mario.
something. Yeah, Mario. No, but it is something that is exclusive to Japan, and this is
and relates to what Ty was talking about several minutes ago.
Yes, exactly, and kind of related to what you were talking about to an extent too, James. I'm playing the Seiken Densetsu Collection on the Switch.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Yes. If you remember, back last June, Square Enix released this here in Japan. It's a collection of what amounts to Final Fantasy Adventure, Secret of Mana, and then basically Seiken Densetsu 3, which is a sequel to Secret of Mana. So
Secret of Mana 2. Seiken Densetsu 3 is Secret of Mana 2.
Yeah, basically.
Makes complete sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's some Super Mario Advance shit right there, isn't it?
But what's even more screwed up about the original Seiken Densetsu, so that's the title in Japan, and they have like a subtitle for that too. It's called Final Fantasy Gaiden, and in America it's called Final Fantasy Adventure. In Europe it's just called Mystic Quest.
Oh yeah, I know.
Mystic Quest in the US is an entirely different game.
Yes, so
the 80s.
Yeah, oh, this is like 1991 or 92.
Same thing.
Yeah. Anyways, so I was doing some video stuff on the YouTube, which you'll be able to see on Famicast Friday. And yes, I had started playing Final Fantasy Adventure, aka Seiken Densetsu 1, back last summer, and then just kind of put it down. Just got busy with work, and Splatoon 2 came out and stuff like that. But just started kind of picking it up to play again. And yeah,
they would have to call it Secret of Mana 0, wouldn't they? Or Secret. What did they call the Earthbound? Yeah, it was called Earthbound 0, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They would have to do that with it, wouldn't they? Or, yeah, to make a Secret of Mana trilogy collection, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the big hurdle with this game coming to the West is that there is no English translation for the third game. Never released.
Right.
Really late Super Nintendo game anyways. I think it was 96, maybe something like that. Super Nintendo, I was talking with a friend about this a couple days ago, but man, the Super Nintendo in Japan, that thing stuck around for a really long time. I mean, there were games coming out into like 99 and 2000, basically. It's pretty nuts.
Right. Well, there weren't many 2D RPGs on the other consoles at that point, right?
Yeah, maybe the stuff was moving over to like PlayStation or Saturn.
Oh, there were, but how do you like 5-minute loadings between battles?
Yeah. And then, I mean, the marketplace for Japan seemed like it was just a lot different than the West. Whereas, with the PlayStation and N64 and maybe Saturn to some extent, a lot of people were hoping for this kind of like better visuals, kind of just better things. But
yeah, it was amazing how quickly people threw the SNES in the trash, wasn't it? When it came to like 3D gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Sad. Suckers.
Yeah, it seems like in Japan, I mean, yeah, there's probably some need and desire for that, but a lot of people are still interested in like these type of games. I mean, think about like Dragon Quest. That shit didn't change until Dragon Quest 8. You know?
Hey, are you talking to a guy who's playing Donkey Kong Country 3 while people were playing on their PlayStations? Me and like 10 other guys.
Yeah. Well, you know, with Final Fantasy Adventure, let's just call it that. So yeah, I mean, I just kind of got back into playing, and one thing that I immediately remembered and came to still enjoy is that you have a lot of different cool weapons like at your disposal.
This is a Game Boy game, right?
Game Boy, yeah,
right.
Original Game Boy game.
And you can play it. You can play it in like black and white or green and black or whatever.
Yep, exactly. When you're playing, you can just toggle through like a bunch of different like screen filters by pressing ZR, and it also controls like the side. There's maybe like 6 different filters. There's like a border on the outside, and then you could actually change the color of the screen. The default is white, and then you can change it till it's like basically pixel perfect. So it's kind of a small little box in the middle of your screen. But then you can change it to like this reddish type of a tint, kind of like Super Game Boy type of thing. And then you can also change it to like Game Boy Green, which is kind of
Game Boy Green.
Yeah, wow. Game Boy. You know what I mean? The green color.
So if you played it in pixel perfect mode, like the tiny little screen, and then played that handheld, it would be really small, wouldn't it?
It's not that small. I mean, okay.
Like a postage stamp in the middle of your Switch screen, it would be weird, wouldn't it?
If you're not playing in pixel perfect mode, it's basically taking up almost from like top to bottom on that little screen in like this kind of the center. But then if you do the pixel perfect, just basically cut that in half on both sides, and
that's stupid.
So I don't do that because it's just kind of too small. But it's M2 is the developer of this. Well, I'm pretty sure of this whole collection, and they did a lot of work with the Virtual Console on the Wii U, and especially with like Game Boy Advance stuff, and I think the DS stuff, getting that to work on the Wii U.
Do you remember when people were complaining that Switch wasn't getting the Secret of Mana remake, and they're only having this quote-unquote crappy, ROMs dumped on a Switch? Yeah, and I don't think those people are complaining anymore.
Yeah. I've read some reviews and stuff of the weird remake.
Right.
In peace, along with the Vita, I guess.
Not good.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, this game, the most frustrating thing about this game, though, is that since it is a Game Boy and you're only limited to 2 buttons, you have to go in and out of menus a lot to
good times.
Equip items, because like your main sword or weapon is control. You use it by hitting the A button. But if you want to have some kind of an extra item that you want to use, you have to basically go into your items or weapons and equip it, and then you could do it with B. I mean, if it's an item, you'll run out, and then the B button will just be useless. If it's magic and you run out of magic power, that'll eventually be useless. You got to keep on going in and changing this stuff.
Game Boy was my first console, baby. You don't need to tell me these things.
Yeah, I mean, for what it is, I mean, like I said, it's a 1991 game. It's pretty ambitious. I mean, graphically, it's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty much on par with Link's Awakening, which I'm trying to think. Link's Awakening, what year was that? Like 93, 94?
Yeah, sounds about right.
I don't know. This isn't Danny's date night.
Yes, sorry. But
refresh my memory. Does this game have like a lot of different character classes?
Yeah, I think they're okay. So one interesting thing, whenever you're actually leveling up your character, upon each level up time, you can choose, like, basically they say something like, okay, you can go with the fighter type, the monk type, this type, or this type, like 4 different types. And then you could if you just wanted to do complete fighter, you could always just level up your character by choosing this, and it'll like put the stats in the appropriate areas for that, maybe strength or power, stuff like that. But you could kind of just choose to do as you like. If you notice that like one of your attributes is a little bit low, you could say, okay, this time I'm going to go with monk class because it's going to, increase my intelligence, or whatever the hell they call it, smartness. So whatever.
Mentality.
Aptitude.
Yeah, sure. Mentalist.
Thinkism.
There it is. Thinkism. So yeah, you're kind of free to do that. So that's kind of nice. That answers your question.
Okay.
What was the question again?
Yeah.
Different character classes. I think I've I think I've played this very briefly along with the other weird Final Fantasy Game Boy game.
Yeah, because there's Adventure, and then there's the Final Fantasy Legend series.
Yeah.
Yeah, different.
Trying to remember which one's which.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever played the Legend games. But
I think we can all agree that Japanese people are the worst for titling RPGs.
Yep.
Well, you could blame the European and American counterparts on these. Yeah.
Final Fantasy 1/6/8.
Yeah. And, James, you said that,
Yes.
with you playing Secret of Mana and stuff like that, you can clearly see a lot of the enemy designs and stuff like that.
The rebeats.
Yeah, those type of things, obviously carry over into what we know as the first game of the series in the West. But you can see their origins here with this game. So,
man, I remember. Was it this collection, or maybe it was the remake that was at TGS last year?
Yeah, the remake.
And they had a giant rebeat that you could have your picture taken with.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was snuggling up to it or hugging it, and then I came in and I asked the woman to take a picture of me stabbing it in the head. Good times.
Yes.
What else are you supposed to do, rebeat? They're the enemy.
Yeah, exactly. You got to kill them.
Wipe them out.
Yeah. All of them. Yes.
He knows it.
So that's pretty much the main stuff that I've been playing. It's still, I'm going to try to beat this and then maybe kind of work my way through the series.
So you're going through the first one, the Game Boy one, and then when you complete that one, you'll go into Secret Mana.
Or I'll just play something else, give myself a break from RPGs. I'm not sure yet, actually.
But to be clear, they're all called Seiken Densetsu.
Yes.
In Japanese, 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never even found out about the third one until I came to Japan and I saw the box in real life. And I was like, that looks like Secret of Mana, but that's not Secret of Mana. Why has it got a 3 in it? That's weird.
Yeah.
So there were there was another 2 Mana games that I'd never seen before. It was all very, very, very confusing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the box art for Secret of Mana, aka Seiken Densetsu 2, is the Japanese box is still hands down one of the best game boxes ever made, I think.
Yeah, I have it behind me somewhere. Actually.
Oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it right there next to your. There we go. There it is.
Yeah, so if you're looking at the video version, you can see this.
Yeah, I think when I saw that and then the 2 in it, I just my brain just couldn't compute what was going on. I was like, that's not Secret of Mana 2. That's Secret of Mana.
Yeah, and this is a wonderful box. Even the back has some really good artwork here too. And
the clay. Yeah, I think that made it into the manual in the the European version at least, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got this for roughly 300 yen, $3.
There you go.
I don't even know if it works. I don't care. Just had all the stuff, so fine, good enough.
It's worth it just for the box, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Okie doke. Well, I think that's going to go ahead and do it for new business. So next, we're going to go ahead and move on to now playing at the Famicast.com.
Yeah.
Sounded like me then at the end.
Now playing at the Famicast.com. We have a lot of stuff going on, as we do every week. And James, do you want to take the first little part of that here?
So yeah, Famicast Friday, Chapter 3, Episode 3, Part 3, Number 3. That was March the 16th anyway. And we had in case you missed it, me and Cyrus played through the Splatfest, the egg, which came first, chicken or the egg stream, which was a lot of fun. We played with, we had a little squad going on, and then we split off and then we played individual matches as well. That's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun chatting over it and talking about the Nintendo Direct and the Splatoon announcements and all that kind of stuff. We kind of incorporated it all in one. It's like a little mini episode. And it's free to watch on our YouTube channel. Go ahead. And the other one is the aforementioned Pac-Man Championship Edition stream. You can see me failing at the game. Oh yeah, you can actually play the co-op mode on your own, by the way.
Right.
Forgot to mention that before. So yeah, there's me playing through that, and then the Switch 5.0 update. So lots of people were doing these, not how-to guides, but showing you what's going on. So I thought I'd throw my chip in there and take you through the 5.0 update in the only way I know how, which is like being a sarcastic bastard.
Yes. And
yeah, coming up very soon. If you're listening to us live, a couple of days away. If you listen to the podcast, it's probably like today or yesterday. Famicast Friday number 4, and yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of stuff going up. My thing will be the Octopath Traveler stream, which I was talking about in my new business. So you can see me fumbling my way through and ignoring all the tutorials, but ultimately succeeding against all odds. Coming soon, Famicast Friday, Chapter 4, coming up soon. And Ty is going to tell you about the other stuff that's coming up this Friday.
Stuff. Yeah, Famicast Friday the 4th.
Oh, there you go. There it is. Let's go with that.
Yeah, that is upcoming. Or maybe it'll be out by the time you listen to this. I don't know. It will exist. It will be made manifest.
At some point.
Yes.
It exists.
Yeah, and we already talked about Cyrus's video review of Doom. You can put that in your eyeballs. Yeah, I saw some of it myself. It was nice. I liked
Confirmed good game, as you usually say.
Confirmed good game. No, I usually say noted.
Oh, there you go.
Game. That's my catchphrase now. Let's see. And Seiken Densetsu Collection intro video.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, Danny.
So
what have you crafted?
Well, I've done so far like 2 different videos. This intro video, which I mean, even before you start up the game, there's a couple of different things that you can do. I won't give everything away. It's not that long of a video, so you should definitely
spoiler alert for this 30-year-old game.
Yeah, yeah. But no, there's some nice little additions just in like before you start up any of the games. There's some little things that you can do and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And then I actually sat down today and just sat down with the game with some commentary and stuff, just playing and showing how to do all the we're talking about the filter changes and just the general gameplay too. So be sure to check that out.
Yeah, I'll try to catch that live next time.
Cool.
So I control you in the chat.
Oh God.
Now, Danny, I think you have something else to tell us about.
Yes, we do. And we actually have a contest that, well, basically, if you want a chance to win some eShop credit, I'm not going to tell you how to do that right now. You have to continue listening. It could be in the middle of the show. It could be in the next 5 minutes. It could be in the next 10 seconds.
Holy shit.
I already claimed it.
But be sure to keep on listening to find out how you can enter to win some eShop credit.
Hey, I want to. Can I enter?
I don't think any of us are going to enter. Probably not. So. Maybe though.
Oh, it's one of those bullshit things like, if you're a member of blah blah blah, you're not entitled to enter. Well, I never thought I'd be a part of one of those things. That's bullshit.
Yeah. I'm putting myself in twice, so
fair enough.
Anyways. All right. Well, that's going to do it for Now Playing at Famicast.com. But James, I think you know what time it is.
Japanese?
That's right. That's right. Japanese time. And we talked at the beginning of the show that we wanted to get into the Nintendo Direct and this latest Nindies thing. Before that, I had a couple of just little quick take things I kind of wanted just to say, just for you guys out there, especially for this first one. So, Detective Pikachu, known video game, came out here in Japan.
It exists.
Yeah, came out here in Japan in 2016, coming out March 23rd in the West. I had a review of this game that's up on NintendoWorldReport.com that I wrote, back then.
Danny, I'm confused because, isn't there a Detective Pikachu game coming out in Japan?
Yes. So the main thing, okay. when the game first released in Japan, it was digital only, so they never had a physical version.
So this is the first physical one, and it's got the amiibo and all that shit.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
Gotcha.
The long and short of this is that the story stuff with this game is actually kind of fun. When it comes to like gameplay, though, it's kind of ho hum. They have like puzzles and stuff. They're not really difficult. It's just.
I heard the Pikachu's voice for the first time in the English trailer. It was quite fun.
Yeah. So I don't know. Don't go in expecting this to be like the best Pokemon game you've ever played. At this point, it might be, but.
Right, no, that's Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, hey, there you go. That's a good one.
It's LA Noir with Pikachu.
Yes, exactly. Expect that. Another little thing here too. So, as Splatfests are happening all over the world except Japan, and when they do, it's about something weird. Well, guess what? It happened again. So this Splatfest is actually sponsored by Nike, and this is based on like two different things. Basically, it's like, which do you want more? A new model of shoe or a popular model of shoe? I don't know if they're just talking about generalities or if they're talking about these two specific shoes that they have in this image.
No. It's like, do you like the new designs or the classic designs?
Well, yeah, okay.
Basically,
it said popular. It said popular.
Classic, popular, whatever.
Okay.
But we would call them, if we were localizing it instead of just translating it, we would probably say classic designs. People like the retro, the old style ones, right?
But they don't even look. The weird thing is they don't even look retro. It just looks like almost the same shoe.
The weird thing was, like, when this news was announced, my wife bought some Nike shoes and they were pink, like bright pink, like Splatoon pink. And I thought that was weird. I was like, wow, she's really getting into the whole Splatfest. And I told her about it, and she went, "What?"
Yeah.
So anyway, good times. It's Nike.
Yeah. Well,
you'll be playing. Which team are you choosing?
What the hell did I pick? I think I just picked the turquoise one because it looked cooler. That's the
new models.
Yeah, the new models.
You like the new shit? New shit.
I guess.
Okay.
So
well, good luck.
Yes.
Don't let us down.
Let's see if I actually play.
It's bullshit. Egg Team lost, even though scientifically and skill-wise we were better. It's bullshit.
Well, if you have a Japanese copy of Splatoon 2, this is happening on March 24th, starting at 3 o'clock, going for 24 hours. So, boom.
Yeah, if you like your games locked into a language you don't understand, buy the Japanese version of Splatoon 2.
There it is.
Hey, turns out Kirby wasn't language locked after all. Do you see that news?
Yeah. Also, it turns out that Hyrule Warriors wasn't that way either on the Switch.
Yeah, little whatever named Takahiro, who was supposed to update the languages, fucking failed.
Well,
he's fired.
Hyrule Warriors is different. Well, if you are a native speaker of Japanese, Korean, or Chinese, you're good. You can.
Oh shit! That's not only Japanese.
You could pick up the Japanese version for those.
All the Asian languages you love.
Yes. So
Hyrule Warriors.
There you go.
Yeah, there's apparently lots of reasons for that. Like, apparently it's a lot more complicated than we know about. How that thing goes down. About like you can actually choose to have like a global ROM which has all the languages in, but that means you have to prepare, whatever it is, fucking 20 languages, and then for one release date, and then release it worldwide, right? Or you have to release separate ROMs with languages in each one, but then that means you've got to have all different release dates for all of those, and you've got to submit them to all of the shops individually and all that kind of stuff. Apparently it's very complicated. Like if you're an indie developer, for example, that kind of thing is quite a tricky thing to sort out. It's not as easy as just like uploading a ROM and then just checking a few boxes and like upload to America and upload to Europe. It's not like that. There's a lot of shit to get sorted. So I have nothing but respect for the indies who go through all that shit to put their game on all the regions, which is why I'm not as angry at the fact that Sai-less isn't on the Japanese eShop yet, because they're obviously a small studio, and they would have to localize all that into Japanese, and that's a whole different release and stuff. Right. But I don't think there's much excuse for a Nintendo game. It's probably more to do with the content. It's probably like, well, definitely with Hyrule Warriors, there's probably a lot of boobs involved, in that thing, right? They've got to have the boob calculation, and it's like, you know, are these things acceptable in, you know, these areas or whatever? Do they have to be what do you call them, like rated in each country separately, and, you know, some things are not allowed or whatever? So that's probably what it is.
Yeah, that could just be a marketing thing too. Maybe they just figure that they have something lined up. You know.
Yeah, and the release dates are quite different, aren't they? Like, it comes out in Japan way earlier, so they probably don't want, you know, fucking whiteys
probably
downloading the game.
Probably by the time you're listening to this episode, it's probably going to be out. I think it's 22nd or 23rd of March. So in Japan.
So if you know one of those 3 Asian languages, you know, good luck to you.
Yeah.
But then there are games like Splatoon 2 where they on purposefully do that just to get around the IP lock. It's a way of IP locking it, basically. Like, well, of course, you know, you could download the Japanese version if you live in America if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But you're only going to be playing Splatfest at fucking 3 a.m. if you do that.
Right.
So I guess that was their way of getting around the fact, you know, they don't have they're not doing the IP blocking, they're doing the kind of blocking by game.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. It's a Splatfest, man. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
like,
and
the
branded content, like in Japan, like the 7-Eleven sponsors and all that kind of sponsored shit that they do here. They just want to kind of lock that down, I guess. But yeah, Kirby was a weird one because I was like, I had no fucking idea why they would lock that, because I think it's going to be released worldwide on the same day.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
There's no online multiplayer whatsoever. There's nothing online to do with it at all. And then, it turns out it was just a clerical error. So
yeah.
Man, there were some people really arguing with me on Twitter. It's like, this is not language lock, man. It's in English as well, man. I played it in English. It's like, yeah, you downloaded it from the English eShop. That's why it was in English. Yeah. On the Japanese eShop, it says literally languages, Japan, Japanese, that was it.
Yeah.
And then magically on release day, 8 languages disappeared.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, I think a lot of the time for a lot of these big games, it's not something that you have to worry about. Most of the time it's going to be there. But always be wary, I mean, of what you're buying.
Things with online content, you need to watch out for that, because like online stuff might change. Things with a lot of boobs in, that could be different. Those kind of like anime boob clothes exploding games, they're not going to be released in English at the same time as Japanese, you know, if released in English at all.
Yeah, I'd say if you're on the Japanese eShop and you don't know a lot of Japanese, learn the kanji for English. I think that's one of the first things I did when I first moved here.
Yeah, there you go. There you'll be able to know which games are in English. Yeah,
I did it for like DVDs because I wanted to see if they had like English subs or something, or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. It's not hard. You can learn it.
EIGO, if you want to type it out in alphabetic characters, that means English language.
Lego my ego.
Exactly.
Mino ego.
Yeah, waffles. All right. Well,
ego.
Right. In America, that was the TV ad. It was Lego my ego. Yes. That was the catchphrase. I don't know if they had those in Europe or not. I kind of doubt it.
I watched Stranger Things.
Okay. Well,
I didn't.
Okay. That's the only reason I know about egos.
Okay. I lived it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into some chatting on the Nintendo Direct before we get carried away about Eggo. I mean, don't get me wrong. I fucking love Eggos.
Hell yeah.
What are Eggos anyway? I know what they look like, but I don't know what they taste like.
Yeah, it's a store-bought waffle. I don't know what to tell you.
Does it taste eggy?
No. Tastes like a store-bought waffle.
I'm not going to lie to you. The name doesn't sound appetizing.
Lego, like let go of my, Lego my ego.
No, the Eggo doesn't sound appetizing.
Oh, I don't know, man. The marketing worked in America. I guess that's why it never caught on or didn't go to Europe.
No comment.
All right.
What are we talking about?
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. Right.
Yeah. So
time for
Nintendo Direct talk.
Nintendo Direct. But everyone listening has already read the amazing Fammy chatting article that we did on this.
Absolutely.
We broke down the whole what was it, 9th of March
Yep.
But it was like 8th of March in Japan, wasn't it? Or
yeah, it was the 9th here and then the 8th in the West.
Oh, other way around. Yeah. So we broke down the Japanese one because there were some quote unquote exclusives or things not mentioned because it's already out in the West or will never release in the West. So
right.
And then there were vice versa. There were also things in the American and European ones that weren't in the Japanese ones. Like, yeah, the Japanese people ain't going to be playing these games. So, yeah, no way we're going to put it in that one. Again, how did you feel about starting with a bunch of 3DS shit? I mean, games.
I wasn't against it. It's nice to see that Nintendo wasn't just doing lip service when they said, like last year, yeah, we're going to carry the 3DS into 2018, and clearly they're going to do this with the
I
amount
believe
of
them.
things.
No, I believed them when I said that, but that doesn't mean it was a good thing.
Well, I mean, there's maybe for us, no, but
Yeah.
there's still a lot of people out there that have only 3DSs. They're probably not listening to this podcast yet. But
yeah, I guess you're right. And there are still people buying them even now.
Yeah.
2DSs for like whatever it is, $60 in the States.
Yeah,
not quite so cheap in Japan, is it?
Yeah, it's still like under like 10,000 yen. Under.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Or right around.
The first one, Made in Wario Gorgeous. I love that. Great title.
Yes.
What is Made in Wario Gorgeous?
This is
it's my dream game, pretty much.
Yes. Yeah. What's the English title? WarioWare Gold.
WarioWare Gold.
Yeah, inner gold member.
I love it. The taste of it, the smell of it. So yeah, this is like, it's kind of like what they did with that shitty Mario Party thing, the Mario Party 100, where they took the best, quote unquote, best 100 mini games from Mario Party and shoved them in one game.
I think this is probably more akin to that Rhythm Heaven game that came out on 3DS a couple of years ago.
Well, they're all the same thing, isn't it? Take the best of everything and put it in one game.
But like, yeah, and I mean, Rhythm Heaven is obviously, has a very similar DNA here.
Mega Mix.
Yeah,
it was called, wasn't it?
It's just kind of surprising to me that this series hasn't moved on to mobile. It just seems like this would be the perfect place for it.
Yo, WarioWare, the DS one, the Touched. Like, I think I probably talked about this in a very early episode of the Famicast, but like I reviewed Touched on the Wii U because they released DS games on the Wii U for some stupid reason. And when I was playing it, this was before like smartphones. This was like before the first iPhone. And it amazed me, like all the mini games in WarioWare Touched were all what smartphone games became.
Yes.
It was like Fruit Ninja before Fruit Ninja was even conceived. It was like Angry Birds. It was literally every single smartphone game was just a 10-second mini game, micro game in WarioWare.
That's funny, especially if you remember WarioWare actually had a story.
Right. Yeah.
The story was Wario wanted money, so right. He's gonna crank out as many games as possible.
There you go, and that is fucking smartphone game industry, isn't it? It's amazing. Like, I'm sure there's some scrubs who would go back and play WarioWare Touch now and say, "Oh, this is fucking copying off Angry Birds," and oh yeah, copied off / came out 5 years before the fucking first iPhone. Get the fuck out of here. So anyway, that's coming out in this one's coming out in August.
Yeah,
on the 3DS. And the other 3DS game was Mario Luigi RPG 3 DX.
Yep.
DX, which is coming out in 2019.
Yeah.
Jesus. What?
That was unbelievable. I thought they just tried to plug it into the same slot that they did last year with the remake. But Jesus, I guess they're really taking their sweet time on this, huh?
I like blowing my students' minds by telling them that like all the English versions of these games all have unique names.
Yeah.
And then them getting them to try to work out which one is which. Because in Japanese it's just called Mario and Luigi RPG, RPG 2, RPG 3, RPG 4. There's no subtitle whatsoever. But the English ones all have unique names. But anyway, that didn't annoy me that much, but this next one did annoy me. Luigi's Mansion. Sorry,
Luigi.
We're watching the Japanese one, right? Yeah, get that.
How many Luigis are there? James, God, there's only one, so duh. Luigi Mansion.
Luigi Mansion. Shouldn't that is so? I guess Japanese people are imagining like in a block of apartments. Sorry, that's a Japanese joke. In Japanese, condominium or apartment is mansion, which they borrowed from the English language and completely fucked it up. So this is Luigi Mansion on the 3DS. It's like, what the fuck? Like the sequel, the much better and longer and more involved sequel is been out on the 3DS for 5 years, and now they released the first one. What?
Makes perfect sense to me.
Danny, you have a theory, right?
Yeah, and people out there, you probably heard this talked about before, but back in the day when they were developing this game on the GameCube, like somebody at Nintendo, I forgot who, had the idea of basically trying to have some kind of a stereoscopic 3D screen that you can use with the GameCube. Maybe they had some kind of special screens that they were using and testing this stuff out. But, obviously since 3D technology, stereoscopic technology wasn't a thing really for the public back in the day, that the whole feature was just nixed. And
do you remember those little GameCube screens that would attach to the GameCube itself? Yeah. I always imagined it was something like that. Like you attach it to it and it's like a little 3D screen on the back of the GameCube or something. I'm sure that's what it was in development stage anyway.
Could have been, yeah. But I think this is cool that with that in mind, that they were actually kind of developing this game, thinking about that as a feature, that they could actually finally do it after all these years. That's kind of cool.
Coming in 2019, Virtual Boy games coming to the 3DS Virtual Console.
Can't wait.
The thing that people have been asking for like literally 7 years. Yeah, so that's weird. I would have preferred this on Switch as like a $10, $15 download, but yeah.
I think everybody would like that, but it's fucking Nintendo. A game like that ain't gonna be $10, $15. $30,
$40, $50 download. There you go. So yeah, I think that's the 3DS stuff out the way.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that's on the stuff that we're going to talk about anyway.
Yeah, that's fine.
Next is we can skip Kirby, right? It's out now, so fine. It's out now anyway. Okay, so how many remakes have we had so far? Well, Made in WarioWare, that's kind of like a remaking all the old ones in one game. Mario RPG 3, that's a remake. Luigi Mansion remake. Now we've got Okami remake.
Yep.
Which is based on the HD remasters that was out like a couple of months ago on the other consoles, right? And everyone went like,
I feel it was a couple of years ago, but I'm probably wrong.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that long ago. Okay. But this is weird because, it was weird when it came out on the PS4 and Xbox, and they were like, and Switch, right? And like, nope. It's like, that's weird. But yeah, it turns out I don't know when Capcom started working on this, because Capcom have been quite late on their uptake on Switch stuff, which has kind of bit them in the ass, like with Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
That they didn't even think about starting work on Switch because, they wanted to wait like another year to see how well it was doing. So they just shut out that little Street Fighter port.
And also the Monster Hunter, they basically ported that 3DS game to Switch last summer too.
That's right. They shipped 2 things out. It took them like 3 days of programming to do that. Copy, paste, print.
Well, then they have the Revelations games.
Again, copy and paste. They came out much later.
Yeah.
So so Monster Hunter World, obviously that didn't make it, and Okami was a much later edition. It's coming out summer.
Yep.
This year. And what are our experiences of Okami?
So James, do you have this on the Wii?
Yeah, I own it. I've got it on Wii.
So I think I've seen it at your house before. Okay.
I don't think I have the IGN box.
Oh.
I would look for that every time I was in the store.
I may not have the IGN version. I can't remember. But yeah, I've got the American one because my Wii is American. That was the last time I went to America. Yeah. Then Reggie took over and started fucking things up. I'm like, okay, NOA, you're out of here now. Back to NOE.
Well,
been in NOE ever since.
With Okami, for me, I bought it on launch day on PS2.
All right. So it was a PS2 exclusive for a long time, right?
Yeah. And I mean, the way you controlled the stuff was, with the sticks, you'd kind of twirl those around a little bit to do like the little paintbrush moves.
Wow. How did that work? I mean, did it work well? I mean,
it was okay. I mean, yeah, it was fine. As long as you know how to use a control stick, you can do it.
But it wasn't. They had some kind of like momentum to it. Like it wasn't literally just like dragging it around, right?
Maybe you had to press something with it. I really don't remember that. It's been over 10 years.
With the Wii version, which I put maybe 2 or 3 hours into and then gave up on. It wasn't for any particularly big reason. It wasn't like, oh man, fuck this game. It was just like, I guess I'll get back to it later, and then
it just seems so damn daunting. Just you start out the game, you're like, geez, I already have to do a lot of crap. And after hearing people talking about it recently, especially with this news, just like there's a shitload of filler in this game, and it just I don't know. I'm interested. The visual style is fantastic. It looks really cool, this
is going head to head with Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
A Zelda game with a wolf in versus a Zelda style game with a wolf in.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. I think. What the hell? Yeah, it came out just maybe a few months before the Wii did. Maybe then I just kind of said, all right, I'm not going to be playing PS2 anymore. So.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because the graphical style is so amazing in Okami, but like even that didn't kind of like hit me as much as I thought it would. Mm-hmm. And the pointer control painting made a lot of sense on the Wii, as you would expect, but like the dodging was with the nunchuck and it didn't work because the nunchuck is like the least responsive thing ever. So yeah, I think I remember getting a bit frustrated with that. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to get this on Switch though. Even though the touchscreen mode looks interesting and they've got the similar to the pointer control, right? I think they've got the, what is it, like is it gyro controls in Switch?
I'm not sure, but it's you'd have to take off, the nunchucks, the joystick or the Joy-Con.
Yeah, the 2 nunchucks.
Yeah, I'd rather just play with the Pro, honestly.
Yeah, but are you thinking about it, getting this?
Kind of, but there's so much stuff, as we'll talk about.
You're gonna Bivens it.
No, I'm just not gonna buy it. I'm trying to be better about these things. I mean, hell, I'm going back and playing the Secret of Mana thing too. Well, for now. So,
collector's corner.
Yeah, well, my Super Nintendo, both classics, both of them. Say hi.
Ty, have you got any experience with Okami?
Nope. I played the dog in Marvel vs. Capcom.
There you go. Oh yeah, Cyrus said the same thing in Famicast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sushi Strikers. Should we skip that one?
Yeah, don't really care. It's not just on 3DS; it's on the Switch as well.
That's a weird combo, isn't it?
Well, the thing that sucks about this. Okay, maybe we'll talk about this for a second. But the price for this thing, man, this is like, basically like a $50 game. Well, 5,000 yen here. I don't know what it's going to cost in the West, but that's crazy for a freaking puzzle game.
They're trying to put this off as like a full retail game. Fuck that.
Yeah.
This is like a $10 download. What they're talking about.
I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, they're going to have a whole shitload of content to make this worth it.
Yep. And then Octopath Traveler, previously known as Project Octopath Traveler. It's coming out on the 13th of July. They gave us a final release date. In the Famichatting, I said I should really get around to playing the demo, and now I have. Mm-hmm. And Cyrus says the demo put him off buying the full game, but the newest trailer actually got him interested again. So it's all over the place with this demo, isn't it? It's like best demo ever, worst demo ever, best trailer ever, worst trailer ever. Not gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. But I think for the general vibe in my Twitter timeline, at least, seems to be people are kind of hyped for it.
Yeah.
like this is like the big RPG for the summer. So yeah, and it's nice that it's localized and ready to go in English.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to language lock it on Japanese one.
I don't
and make you download it from the specific eShops.
Yeah, I don't remember if I've seen it on. Yeah, I don't know if they have it listed yet.
I don't think they've got the. Yeah, I don't think they've got the full listing on this eShop yet. I think it's just like a trailer page at the moment.
Sometimes even on the Japanese Nintendo official website, sometimes they don't even have. If it's too early, they don't even have the languages listed. But
right,
same thing. Anyways, yeah. Moving on. So James, I know this is something that's. Well, at least this series is something that you're pretty familiar with. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. This is coming out, sometime in 2018.
I have a kind of a connection with No More Heroes because it was actually the first game I previewed for Nintendo World Report, like when I first got the job from Windy Man back in 2006, maybe, around about then. This was like, it was the first time it was being shown was at Tokyo Game Show, so it was like, a world exclusive, and it was pretty cool, and like it was a good demo, and it wasn't using the waggle as you would expect. Like I appreciate the fact that it's a game where you're controlling a guy with a lightsaber, but they didn't make you waggle the lightsaber. It was mostly just using A and B, and then for the final cut down you would do a motion. So it was a lot more. I mean, compare that to Twilight Princess, which made you do every single hit with the motion, which was ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
So and the second one had these like amazing retro mini games. They kind of like they took out all the kind of open world stuff because in the first one it was like a blank. It was like an open world, but there was like nothing to do.
Yeah, that's why I quit playing it.
But the second one, they took all that out and just let you select the mission and just go straight into the missions, and then had these awesome like 8-bit mini games, which were really fun. And it was a lot more like focused and streamlined. It was really good. But this one is like completely different. It's like using all of these indie games to like inspire these different stages, right?
Taking the WarioWare approach, just make a bunch of games, make as much money as you can.
Right. My only worry is that from a lot of the screens, like the stages look very linear, like just like a long path, and just like, and it was like a very top down view, like a, traditionally it's like a, it's a third person action game, character action game. So the guy is very large on your screen, like a Bayonetta or whatever. This one doesn't look like that. This one looks more like one of those, like, like a Lego game where the camera's really high up and your guy is like quite small and you killing people from above.
Did they show trailers, footage for all of the mini games in there?
It's weird that we're calling it mini games, but you mean
I think you know what I mean.
They showed a bunch of them.
Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about. There were a lot that were kind of zoomed out, and that's fine.
Because it's going to have 2-player as well.
Yeah.
So that's new for this series. It's never been a multiplayer game. It's always been single player. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more gameplay footage. It's usually a worrying sign when people like hide. They don't show gameplay, clear gameplay of a game. They try and hide it. That's usually not a good sign for me. Yeah. That means that. But yeah, we'll see where we go. Yeah. I'm still hyped for it.
Ty, were you just like done with Nintendo by the time this game came out?
That was right around that point.
Yeah.
Right. Nintendo is like NES to GameCube for you, right, Ty?
Yeah, maybe like Resident Evil 4 on Wii, which was amazing, and then I was good.
Yeah. Hey, that actually came out pretty early, so you missed out on a lot of crap.
Yeah. I played a lot of DS games after that.
Okay.
So it's like a little gravestone that says like 1984 to 2004 Nintendo, rest in peace.
Yeah, well, the 2006.
Okay, later.
James God.
Yeah, because I was in Japan then, and I bought my Wii at a Toys R Us, and then I played Resident Evil 4 and some trash, and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm done buying games for this. No, wait, I got back to the States, and then I got Smash.
Uh-oh. Oh God.
Then that was good.
Okay.
Oh man, everyone's heard my Smash story, right? The Smash Brothers Brawl. Like this was like I just started work. Well, actually, no. This was the reason why I got hired for a Nintendo World Report, was to get Super Smash Brothers Brawl early. Because like the Japanese version came out, I don't know, a month.
Yeah, something like that. Right?
It wasn't that much. It was enough to like get it early and then like cover it on the site.
Yeah, I think it was 2 or 3 months, because I ordered it from Japan too.
Oh, okay. So it was my mission to like get Wii and Brawl and ship it off to Windy Man in the States, and I basically had to like knock down an old lady to get the last copy of Brawl.
Good job.
So yeah, rest in peace. May she rest in peace.
Yeah, I
served a purpose.
I was here in Japan as well, but at the time I didn't have a Japanese Wii just yet, so I had to wait until the American version came out, and then there's a shop that James, maybe you and I went to together. It's called Game Hollywood.
Oh yeah. Oh, you bought the American one?
Yeah, I bought the American one for like probably $30 more than what it's worth.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's all I could do. Then I just bought a Japanese Wii, and like maybe shortly after that, I was like, "Okay, fuck it."
No, like I said a few minutes ago, I had an American Wii, and this was before the region hacks and all that kind of stuff were around. So, it was weird because I was buying a Japanese Wii and a Japanese copy of Brawl, with not my money, with Nintendo World Report's money, and then shipping it off, and then Windy Man bought me the American copy when it came out in the States for my American Wii in Japan. So it was a weird kind of me sending the Japanese one to America and him sending the American one to Japan. It was like
fucking, guy from the UK.
yeah, which is kind of like related to my origins of my username, Famicomplicated, because my life was always so fucking complicated with fucking region locking shit. Amiibos. Well, Cyrus is no longer with us. May he rest in peace. But
dude, he doesn't have to be. I got you covered.
Dark Souls, a game you've never played.
Yeah,
it's got an amiibo.
Yeah. Oh man, I couldn't say no to this thing. I I think I saw a press.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I'm fucking serious. I got this thing pre-ordered. I don't even have the game pre-ordered yet. I have the amiibo pre-ordered and paid for. It's coming. So,
which version are you getting? The Japanese one?
No. I'm gonna get the English one. I don't want my first time playing Dark Souls to be in Japanese.
So you're downloading the American one?
Yeah, probably.
And buying the physical Japanese amiibo?
No. Yes.
Okay.
This is
makes no sense.
Well, this is one of the games that also fell victim to the region locking type of thing we were talking about earlier.
Locking.
Yeah, it's language locked to Japanese. We get the Japanese version, and it's been like this on other platforms in the past too. So it's not a different thing for this series.
Oh right, yeah, PlayStation 1. That if you buy the disc, it's Japanese only, right?
Or download whatever. Yep.
Weird.
So when you play Dark Souls, let me know. I'll dust off my copy and give it another go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's the one that Minoru loves. Was it this one or was it Demon's Souls?
Probably both. They're the same series, right?
No, what? There was the one on PlayStation 1 that he liked.
This is the what's the name of the developer? I've forgotten it.
Demon
From Software.
From Software, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't that Demon's Souls the predecessor to Dark Souls?
But
Demon's Souls.
But there was one that he also talked about that was on the original PlayStation.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's called, what the heck was it called?
Soul Calibur.
Oh, King something. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I've never played it, but I think I know what you're talking about. Kingsfield.
King's Quest.
King's Quest.
But I remember him telling us about you have to have a from brain. Like there's an expression in Japanese, from no, which is like you need a brain that lets you understand how from games work. So you know which things are gonna troll you, which things are gonna kill you or not. And if you played a lot of their games, you get to have that sense. I thought that was quite interesting. Yeah, I remember that. Good times. Minoru.
I'm interested to try the series. I have Demon Souls in my PlayStation 3 for some reason. It just appeared there one day.
People swear that's the best one. People swear that's still the best one. Demon's Souls, like long-term fans still like that one. But I think Dark Souls is the first, because the Demon Souls is quite old looking now, I guess. Yeah. So Dark Souls is like, the best modern one to play, I guess. Unlike the next game, Mario Tennis Ace. Well, this is Aces in English, isn't it?
Oh God, yeah.
Yo, get that grammar shit out of here.
Exactly.
Aces.
Japan says hi.
Eishiju. Yeah, that'd be very hard to say in Japanese, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Eishizu. Yeah. Fucking impossible to say in Japanese. That's why.
Okay, James, just shit down, okay? And just shit down in your sheet, okay?
Right. Shit down and shut up.
Yes.
So, yeah, this was fucking tedious, wasn't it? They demoed this for like 20 minutes. This is a backhand. This is a forehand. Like, get on with it. Jesus Christ. The silence on the single player, quote unquote, story mode, the silence was deafening. Like, they didn't mention it. They didn't show it once. And I actually kind of predicted it. Well, what, they mentioned it once?
They mentioned it. Literally, they did mention it. But
yeah. I knew they wouldn't do that. Because they're scared of, like, if they're going to show this, people are going to know what it actually is, and that is a shallow mission mode. So if there's anyone listening who still thinks that Mario Aces story mode is going to be some RPG like the Game Boy one, I mean, go back and look at those YouTube videos of the Game Boy Advance RPG modes. They're incredible. Like, there's, you've got like dialogue trees, you got people walking around little villages and talking to people, challenging people, getting items, leveling up. Believe me, trust me, none of that will be in this Mario Ace. It'll be, I've seen the little tiny little screenshot and little clip in the video. It shows Mario kind of like going on this kind of like almost like a Mario World style map, like from one thing to the other. So it's going to be a very linear path, just down like a, from one side to the other side. It's going to be just like that.
I agree. And that's not the only reason I'm not really interested in this game. I don't like all the goofy shit that is in like Nintendo sports games, like having all these different things. The racket can break. I mean, it's interesting that they're doing this, but like, then they said that there is a thing where you can turn off all this crazy stuff, and then they said, I don't know, it's hard to understand if they said it's basically becomes kind of like Wii Tennis essentially.
Oh, they do have Wii Tennis motion control mode, don't they?
Yeah, but like, I guarantee with the single player mode, if you turn off all the specials and are even controlling with a controller, I bet in that single player mode you have to have that stuff turned on, otherwise you can't really do it, which is disappointing. I just want to play tennis. I don't want this goofy bullshit that's going to break my racket or, stop the game for a few seconds and power shot. I hate that crap.
Right. I'm more annoyed at the fact that they're trying to sell this story mode when it's clearly not going to be a story mode.
Well, James, as you would say, good luck to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, not really.
I know. You're saying that with like the most contempt ever. It's just like, good luck to him, fucking asshole.
22nd of June for 6,000 yen, full price. There's a new TV commercial going around in Japan at the moment, like a summer themed TV commercial, and it shows like them playing this on the beach with the motion controls on like this fucking huge projector. God knows how they got a projector on the beach.
The fucking beach.
Yeah. Seriously, like somebody's put up like a big cloth and then they're projecting it on this, like 20-meter size screen on the beach.
Obviously.
Yeah. Having a barbecue, playing Mario Tennis Ace.
Yep.
Good luck to him. Anyway, next.
Yeah. Next up, Captain Toad, Kinopio Kaicho, coming out here in Japan on the 13th, same as the West, on the 3DS and the Switch.
Another port.
Yes.
And the 3DS one, the screenshot we've got here is this. I don't know that price is for which version is it?
I think it's for both.
4,000 yen for both? For Switch? Oh, it's 3DS?
I think even the Wii U version was quite cheap as well.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, this was like a $40 game, wasn't it, in the West? Another port. I mean, Dark Souls, that's another port, I guess. But I'm just trying to keep track of all the ports.
Okay.
And then, this one. Captain Kinopio.
Yeah.
This is a great game, and if you haven't played it, then yeah, by all means, you should get it on the Switch. I mean, it's not a full price game as well, so it's good. You get a lot of content, and this one you get even more content because they've added the Mario Odyssey stuff,
right?
Which is pretty cool. I wouldn't pay another $40 to play, a bunch of Mario Odyssey.
You pay $80 because you want to play it on 3DS and Switch.
Jeez, yeah, that's weird, isn't it? I mean, yeah, in 2018, releasing this game on 3DS in 2018 seems weird. Like if they'd released it in parallel with the Wii U one, I thought, oh, that's cool. Play it in 3D or play it on the console, play it in HD. That's pretty awesome.
Or even do kind of like what they did with Yoshi's Woolly World, where they just, maybe a year later or so, they had the 3DS version as well.
That's another horrible 3DS port. That's really bad, that one, isn't it?
Well, I think it controls fine. It probably just loses kind of the point of the game with the, the visuals. It doesn't look realistic looking.
Yeah, it loses the fuzziness. It's just like flat JPEGs of all the textures, isn't it? It's weird. Yeah. But this one makes more sense because it's that simplified 3D polygon look, and I'm sure it'd look nice in 3D, but no one's going to buy that on 3DS. Well, yeah. I say that there's 70 million 3DSs in the world, so some people are going to buy it.
Yeah. And honestly, even though I played this on Wii U, I'm thinking about picking it up. My wife, she really liked watching me play on the Wii U, but she just couldn't wrap her head around the controls. But with this 2-player mode that's in the Switch version, maybe this is something that we can do together. It's basically, it's easy mode. She can like throw turnips at like bad guys, so it's nothing too crazy. And then we could.
But what about the game?
What?
But what about in the game?
Oh yeah, that's right. So then we could actually do that in the game as well. So
good times.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that. That would be fun. Just make sure she really wants to play it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Don't buy it first and then ask her.
Yeah, just make her play Dark Souls.
She can play with the amiibo.
There it is.
Oh, you can.
Yes, only me. I'm the only one allowed to touch that.
So, yeah, I guess that was like Luigi Mansion. It's like another kind of weird. Oh, they're porting that?
Yeah.
To 3DS? Okay.
Yeah.
But at least this one, we're getting the Switch one as well.
Yes.
Unlike Luigi's Mansion, which is only on the 3DS.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because you got like, if Luigi's Mansion was on Switch and 3DS, and Captain Toad was on Switch and 3DS, that would make more sense. But it was like, they just kind of forgot to make the Switch version of Luigi. Yes. Next one, talking about Mario Odyssey bonus content. Okay.
Yes. I can Grandmaster.
Yeah.
On the Switch
with Gal Metal controls. Ty.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Man, poor old Tack. He's like, oh man, there goes my whole future in video game industry. Because Taiko Drum Master is probably going to sell 100 times more than Gal Metal, isn't it?
Maybe. Yeah.
Just the name alone, isn't it? Yeah. I'm assuming they're going to release the drum controller soon after. Because no Taiko Drum Master game has ever been released that didn't have a drum controller.
DS.
Did it? Well.
Yeah, I don't think the DS had one.
Yeah.
Doesn't count.
I think some pretty impressive YouTube videos of DS Taiko no Tatsujin play.
Actually, a couple weeks ago, I was at some arcade bowling alley or something, just seeing some of the pro guys with their own sticks. It is fucking crazy.
Wild.
Sticks. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I can't remember if the Wii U one is USB. I've seen the Wii U. Well, Danny, you could play the Wii U one at the last TGS or 2 TGSs ago in the kids zone. They had the Wii U version of Taiko Drum Master to play.
I didn't do that.
I can't remember if it was the stupid plugging into the Wii remote one or if it was a USB one. I can't remember. It might have been the Wii one because they might have just
repurposed it.
Yeah, repurposed the Wii version. Hopefully they do a brand new, USB one for the Switch, and they don't force this kind of waggly motion control
I want to
version.
use A and B buttons.
What? Oh, and so they've got Mario Odyssey music and Splatoon 2 music. Which,
That's
makes
cool.
sense. Yeah, Splatoon medley, which is cool. I'm assuming it's Jump Up Superstar from Odyssey.
Yeah, could be. Sure, why not?
There's a Japanese version of that. So right.
Actually, yes, it is Jump Up Superstar, short version.
Yeah, the Japanese version has full Japanese lyrics.
Yep.
Yeah, you can actually listen to that in the English version of Odyssey. Didn't you knew that? Yeah. And there's like a sound test mode, and you can listen to that. Next, so that's another. Is that a port or is that a brand new game? I guess it's a brand new game. No, Taiko Drum Master.
Oh,
it's
a brand new game.
My port checklist. I'm just saying, should that be?
Yeah, it says Nintendo Switch version, and there's exclusive songs. So
okay,
I assume it's
that's the
at least 1/3 new.
Yeah, for this series, that's the definition of new.
Yeah,
so
good point. Yeah, I'll give him a pass on that one. Next one is a port, but this is new to Nintendo systems.
Yep. What I just said, Undertale.
Woo boy!
Coming to Switch sometime. Is that what they said in the English one?
Yeah, if I think it said eventually.
Oh, eventually. Okay.
Yeah.
Why does this have such a big following in Japan? Ty, any ideas?
It has really cool characters.
But like I've got students who are not that good at English, and they've played it like three or four times in English, PS4, PC.
They've released that.
Fucking love it.
I think 8.4 was involved with the Japanese.
No. I'm talking about. Yeah. I know, friends of the show. Before they localized it, I mean, like my students were playing this in English before the localization, because the localization was only last year, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
So there was. I believe there was a fan patch, right? There was a fan translation.
I think so.
So
I don't know that for a fact, but I think there was.
And there was, maybe Ty knows about this controversy. What was that? There was a controversial translation that they did, right?
Oh, like, yeah.
Can you remind me?
Okay, so one of the central characters in the game, Sans, the goofy skeleton guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Comic Sans, right?
There's two goofy skeleton guys. He's the one with the hoodie. So apparently, like, they didn't know, or Japanese fans were eager to know, is he the kind of guy to say boku, or is he the kind of guy to say ore,
right,
or watashi, whatever? And so the creator, what's his name, Toby Fox,
mm-hmm.
he bursts in the door and says, make him say oera, like some old man rice farmer in Inakamachi. He's gonna say oera.
Man, Ty just said a whole bunch of Japanese words that some people might not know what that means. So basically, there's a lot of ways to say I, like as in myself, in Japanese.
Right.
Like watashi, which is usually it's not gender specific. Usually female.
That's the polite nerd way to say I.
It's polite / female, but males can use it as well. And then there's ore, which is majorly masculine.
Yeah, like your favorite masculine anime characters.
That's right. Boku is like a childlike or polite male way of saying I. And then there's a watashi, which is like a super polite female.
You do another one, washi, like old guys say
samurai.
That too. Yeah.
And then there's the one that was in Undertale, which is oira, which is the one which I'd never heard anyone say in Japan ever.
Right.
In real life. So all of these kind of things are very which is why it was so hard to translate games back in the day, was that in Japanese you can just add you can just change how the person says I, and then the person can immediately imagine what kind of person they are. But in English we've only got the word I, so we have to kind of add extra words or little superfluous phrases to make it, like my boy at the end or something like that, right? Son. Or sup or whatever at the beginning to make us understand what kind of guy it is, right?
Right.
So apparently like the fan translation was ore, and then the official 8.4 translation was oida. So does Toby Fox speak Japanese?
I think I don't know actually. I think he obviously knows at least as much as your typical weeaboo.
He watches a lot of anime, so
Right.
he's
Maybe he
pretty
knows
much
a lot.
expert.
Maybe he's fluent for all I know.
Yeah, fluent in anime go.
Yeah.
Sprechen Sie Anime Go?
Yes.
So anyway, Undertale coming to Switch this year.
Yep.
Get it? It's a good game.
And 8-4 are handling this one as well. Okay. As I mentioned on their show recently.
Yes. Man, I really almost bit the bullet and got the Vita version. I really wish I would have. To my
Safe.
Vita love. Oh well.
Next one is Saga Scarlet Grace, which I have no fucking idea what this is.
I don't think anybody listening or anybody else on the show does either.
Is this part of a series?
Saga series?
Is it the Saga series or is it the Grace series?
I think it's the Saga series.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the Grace series, yes. No, like Saga. There's like Super Nintendo games on this, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I like James's response to this which was slowly back out of the room. That was like my response, but James already wrote it, so I'm like, fuck.
So that was that a Japanese one or Japanese exclusive? And the other one, this next one also is Phantasy Star Online 2 Cloud, which is coming out next month, actually, beginning of next month, 4th of April. And this is a completely free to play. With like a 40 meg download, super tiny download, because it's all just streamed.
Wow. Oh yeah. Oh god, that's right. It's the cloud.
So it's like your favorite game, Danny, Dragon Quest X on the 3DS.
Oh yes. Man, I was glad I got to try that out. And it was like a free weekend or something like that, and that was so weird. It was just you're just playing like an interactive video, and it's on 3DS on Wi-Fi, and it was just kind of laggy.
An interactive video, wow.
Yeah, it was weird.
That was the classic long-running joke, wasn't it? The piece of paper in a box thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A couple of games were like that in Japan, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like you buy a download code at retail. Yeah. But in a physical retail box, which is weird.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can.
I'll play this. I'll try this for free. Fuck it.
Yeah, for free. The price is right.
Yeah. You can play as Zelda and Link.
Okay. I seen a picture of Link and I was like, dude, that is totally Link. And then you said and Link. Okay. Safe.
Is this crossplay by any chance?
Good question. Because this is on like Vita, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, this is an old game. It came out in 2012 on PC and I guess Vita, PlayStation 4.
I don't know. Yeah. Nintendo are all in for the crossplay game, so maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Crossplay with the Dreamcast.
Yeah, boy.
Awesome.
I think that's only PSO1.
Battle of the ridiculous keyboard attachments.
Yes.
There's that guy in his GameCube as well. Like, there is a Switch one. Do you remember seeing that one? Somebody made a Switch keyboard controller, like a giant keyboard, and you slot the Joy-Cons on each side.
I think I did see that.
I don't know if that was actually released or if that was a prototype. So yeah, next. Oh, Golf. Well, we don't really have to talk about this. Golf Story is finally coming out to Japan. It's been localized by our friends Fly High Works. Got a little booze tour of that last TGS, didn't we? Interview and all that stuff. Good stuff. So yeah. Cool. I'm sure that's going to go down a storm in Japan.
I think it's already in the top charts and stuff.
There you go.
It's already out. So
told you. Yep. And it's going to have the best golf-based RPG mode on the Switch, even after Mario Aces comes out. It will still be the best golf RPG.
Yes, I mean Mario Tennis would have a hard time beating that. Either way.
Well, sports-based RPG, whatever. Yeah, that's a good point. Somebody should do Tennis Story. Golf Story people need to get on that.
I'd be more interested in playing Tennis Story.
Good point.
Yeah. Next up here, the Crash Collection.
Next.
Yeah, I don't really care.
It looks worse than the PS4 version.
Of course.
But
we don't need to focus on the negative here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll skip straight past that one then.
Yeah, so we kind of been touching on this next part off and on throughout the episode. But yeah, the big Splatoon 2 presence at this direct was
3.0, baby.
Yeah. So yeah, new DLC. What's that out here? 1,800 yen coming out in the summertime. $20 in the West. What is it? 80 different single player levels.
Actually, Danny, I will just direct our listeners to mine and Cyrus's stream of the Splatfest. We went into super detail about this.
Okay.
And you can see us, watch the video, see us kicking ass in the Splatfest, and learn about this.
Yeah, sure.
There we go. Now we don't have to focus on it.
Okay.
The Western exclusives, the ones that was only in Europe and America, was South Park Fractured Butthole.
Yes. The
Fractured Butthole is coming out next month, which is cool. I was surprised it wasn't like there was a rumor that it was a double pack. So maybe that was somebody just kind of got their streams crossed or whatever. So yeah, it's not both. It's the second one, which is apparently better in a lot of ways, but it's a shame that we didn't get the first one first or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the curse of the Nintendo owner, isn't it? Like we get the number 3 first.
Which is why I don't own just Nintendo consoles to avoid this type of stuff.
There you go. Mass Effect Trilogy for $60? No, try Mass Effect 3 for $60.
Happy birthday.
There you go. So things like that. Has anyone played any of the South Park games?
I haven't. Last one I played was South Park on the N64. First one. Pete and the Snowball. Throw it at you, James.
Yeah. Ty, rip and peace, Ty.
Oh, I'm back. What's up?
Ty Sugar.
What's up?
Ty Sugar, have you played any of the South Park games? What was the first one called? Stick of Truth or Fractured Butthole?
Yeah, I have Stick of Truth. I played it just long enough to get the first achievement.
Classic.
So it's in my giant backlog that I'll never do in my entire lifetime.
But did you enjoy that first achievement?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. And then we have ARMS. ARMS is going to have another test punch. You can play it for free again. And they're doing the online ranked tournament, which goes to the end of this month, end of March.
Not here, though.
Not in Japan. So good luck, everyone, except if you're Japanese. What else have we got? So yeah, that was West only. Yeah, that wasn't in the Japanese one. Interesting. Yeah,
that creepy next one. This creepy game. What is it? Nightmares.
Oh yeah, Little Nightmares.
Let's say.
Little Nightmares is also Western only. That's like creepy indies game. Looks freaky as fuck.
Yep.
Hyrule Warriors is coming out in May in the West. So it wasn't mentioned in the Japanese one because it's it's probably already out by the time you're listening to this.
Yep.
But yeah, Western has still got another couple of months. What else have we got? Oh, that was it?
Yep. And then the big one.
Well, yeah, Smash.
Yeah.
All right. So then we're done. No, do you want to talk about Smash? So yeah, the debate is new or old, port or remake. Is it remaster? Is it fresh lick of paint? Totally new thing from the ground up? What is it?
James, I think you did a really good poll here recently that's basically talking about this. And I don't think it's either of those. I think this is going to be more something along the lines of like a Splatoon 2.
No, that's literally one of the options I had on my
I know, exactly. Exactly. I know. I'm giving you some credit here, man.
so I said there was just 3 possible ways that they could do this. It could either be like a Bayonetta to Wii U to Switch, which all they did was improve the frame rate and the resolution, and they added like 2 new costumes or something like that. Very minor upgrade. So if you can imagine that in a Switch sense, just upgrading the frame rate and then adding a few whatever costumes or just changing the look of a couple of characters. Very little effort. I doubt it'll be that, but some people think it might be that. The other option is would be more like a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which for me wasn't enough to warrant me buying it twice because I'd literally bought the first game and all the DLC, so fuck buying that game twice. But like what they did for Deluxe was like add a whole new mode. Like battle mode was completely new, and they added whatever it was, 2 brand new characters. Oh, and coincidentally the Inklings as well.
Right.
So if in terms of a Smash game, that would be like, you know, adding, I don't know, a whole new single player mode or something like that, like some significant mode and some new characters. You know, I'm kind of leaning somewhere around that way, somewhere around that point, you know, and you know, some other tweaks here and there, like, you know, in Mario Kart they balanced a few things, and they changed the items and stuff like that, right? How items were selected. So some kind of major to medium-sized things, and a bunch of other small things. And then the other option, which Danny, I think you're leaning towards, is like the Splatoon 1 to Splatoon 2, which is like Splatoon 2 was known as like Splatoon 1.5 in development. And for a long time, it was just going to be a port of Splatoon 1. They just wanted to get a Splatoon game on Switch as soon as possible. And basically, it started off just, you know, like, let's port Splatoon 1, you know, level for level, 100% exactly the same, and then see how, and then add on from there, right? Mm-hmm. And if you listen to that Liam Robertson episode that we did, you know, apparently Mario Maker was the same thing. Like, they had Mario Maker running on Switch already, but it's just a case, you know, of adding to it or making it its own thing, right? And then they decided to go and make it Splatoon 2, and then they added like a whole bunch of extra modes, like Salmon Run, and whole new single player content, and yeah, they changed like so many things, and the Plaza, and it ended up being like, you know, its own game. But you know, people like Cyrus think it still is Splatoon 1.5, and it's not a good sequel or whatever. But you know, the more I played it, the more I thought, yeah, this is pretty much all new content, you know. It's just like the gameplay itself is exactly the same,
yeah,
but like all of the content is different. So so yeah, I'm leaning somewhere in between the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe structure and the Splatoon 2 structure. I don't know where it will be. It'll be somewhere between there, I think.
Yeah, the way I see it, I mean, whenever they were making Smash on the Wii U and 3DS at the same time, let's not forget that.
Right.
I mean, Nintendo was still relatively new at getting their feet wet with HD development and stuff, and they got some help from Bandai Namco, Bandai, whatever the hell order that is. And it seems like it'd just be a waste if they didn't try to at least utilize some of the assets, some of like the grunt work type of stuff that they had to put in for the Wii U version, just to like reuse that stuff for the Switch version, and then, you know, kind of do a Splatoon 2 type of thing. Maybe, yeah, it's going to feel very familiar, but, you know, maybe hopefully there's some new cool and exciting things like features and characters. It's a single player mode that's actually worth the shit that they're going to put in there.
It's funny because like you think that Splatoon 1 and 2 don't differ that much in graphics, but like if you do go back to Splatoon 1, it is quite shocking how much more simplified the animations are.
Sure.
In Splatoon 1, like unbelievably different, you know. So the Switch is a lot more powerful than the Wii U, which means they can do a lot more. But yeah, other than like, you know, the resolution upgrade and I think it was already 1080p 60 frames a second on Wii U, so you can't really improve that, right? So that's pretty much going to be the same. It's just going to be like, you know, the quality of the models. That's the only thing they can really improve there. So the annoying thing about the Wii U one was how you had to unlock all of the extra moves, and that was just bullshit. Like you had to like play the mini games to like.
Oh, that was the worst.
That was just the worst, the stupidest thing ever. I would be very surprised if they bring that back. I think that will all be unlocked and just let you, you know, customize your character or whatever. Or maybe take it out entirely. Who knows? Maybe it wasn't used very much, that mode. I know I'd never used those extra moves and stuff like that. I thought it was kind of a bit of a waste of time, to be honest. They added like 4, was it like every single move had like 3 versions of it?
Yeah,
like,
something like
that.
Like
your up B, your side B, your standing B had 3 versions. It's like, what's the point of that? It's like, I don't get it. And then barely anyone used it anyway.
Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah. So, yeah, I could see them either just making that super easy to do or just taking it out. Then obviously we've got the Inklings now, that's confirmed. Adding all the DLC characters that we all spent, you know, dozens of dollars on, they'll be all there from the start, obviously. And then just whatever. and that's a couple of extra characters, and then we're golden, right?
I don't know. Ty, do you have any thoughts on this new iteration of Smash?
Yes, absolutely. I have many thoughts.
Okay.
Maybe don't look at it like in the perspective of all of Nintendo's other games. Look at it as a fighting game, like and their time frame, whatever that is, none stated, I guess. My guess is that it's going to be like an upgraded / remixed version of Smash 4.
Right.
So you know, it's like, you know, you've seen so many other fighting games make the jump from like game name to super game name turbo, and I think that's what we're gonna see. Like a few new characters, rebalancing, some new stuff on top of all the old stuff.
With slipping reintroduced.
I hope not.
Yeah, forced slipping for all ranked battles. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. But people just want to know, like, how much are they going to sell it? I mean, I could see Reggie coming on stage at E3 with his big sweaty hands and saying, you know, this is a brand new game from the ground up on Nintendo Switch. You know, bullshit. No, they're going to sell it like that, like they did with Splatoon 2. But like, it's going to be, you know, obviously based off the Wii U version, but just like with such a large lick of paint over it that it's barely, you know, noticeable anymore. And of course, Link already looks like Breath of the Wild Link, apparently. Mario may or may not be Odyssey Mario. You know, all of those kind of little tweaks here and there. You know, in the end, it could be so different from the Wii U one. People might consider it Smash 5, and they might name it something completely different as well, which may make it stand out as its own thing. But ultimately, how the game will play, you know, for example, if you're a pro, Smash 4 Pro, I think your skills are going to be pretty much safe in this next version. That's what I mean, right? Because like with Brawl to Smash 4, they were completely different games. Like how they played, it was completely different.
Right.
I don't think they're going to be different from this to the next one. That's my point, and that's what fighting gamers only care about, right? Like how the game plays. Like,
right.
That's how it's considered, you know, a new game or whatever. Right? So, but yeah, we'll find out at E3. I'm sure it'll be playable at E3.
Yep, coming out this year, allegedly. So we'll see how that goes.
Allegedly.
And I'm sure there'll be at least one Smash Pro player going to E3 who can tell us all about it.
Yes, yes.
Not me though. I'm not going to E3.
Yeah, too busy. I understand.
Yeah. Too busy playing in tournaments.
Yes.
Winning all that cash money.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, we have a little bit more news to get through, and
Chotto.
In regards to the Nindies event that just happened
right.
about 24 hours ago.
Round about when we started planning for this episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
When happened.
Right.
Yeah. So
well, at least it didn't happen during recording this time.
Yes, that's true.
But yeah, it was a little bit disappointing. I don't know. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. There was nothing really maybe one thing that stood out to me, and actually Ty knows about this as well. Ty, what's the one thing? I know you keep.
I think I can guess.
Nintendo's all the time. What was the one thing from this Nindies showcase that really stuck out to you?
Yes, Podio, Norwegian art and culture inspired this game.
Yeah.
No, it's Fantasy Strike.
Yes.
What did you just say?
No,
what was the first thing?
I just picked a random game off the list.
Okay. Podio. Oh, Podio. Right.
Fantasy Strike.
Finally, the sequel to Desert Strike I've been wanting since the 90s.
Yeah, that's like you're like airlifting dragons and shit.
I want to kill Saddam Hussein again.
Yeah. So
Saddam.
So Fantasy Strike is the Street Fighter-esque 2D fighter where all the inputs are simplified. So it'll just be like forward and like there's like 2 or 3 attack strengths. I think it's like normal attack, special attack, and super move, if I remember. Okay. So anyway, I was playing this 1 year ago at KA World Cup. There was a beta set up. there's actually been like a lot of different betas and stuff. If you were like on Serlin's Patreon, I think, or in his in circle, whatever.
Right. Cool.
So
friend of the show, probably.
Yeah. So Fantasy Strike is part of a bigger universe of games. There's tabletop games. There's Yomi, which is like a card game. It plays like a CCG, but you just buy it like a deck, and that's a character. There's no collecting involved.
Okay.
And there's Puzzle Strike, which is a tabletop game. It's like if Puzzle Fighter was a tabletop game.
This is all by David Serlin.
Yes.
All right.
And he does a lot of really good and interesting blogs and stuff. If you go to Serlin.net, where he talks about the game design, and he talked about like the game design for Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix, which he rebalanced, and he like blogged everything too. So you can see his thought process on all that stuff, which is really interesting to read.
If you want to play Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix on your Switch, and pay 10 times more than it was originally.
No, he didn't balance that game. They balanced that game with a dartboard.
Oh, you've learned more about that since it came out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know all about it.
Oh, right. Shit. So it's garbage on every account then.
Yeah. So you can get a better game for a fraction of the price on 360 or PS3.
Damn.
Yeah.
Cool. So this game is going to be like a retail kind of priced level game, or like
you can get it on Steam right now. Well, it's like early access, but it's $19.99. There's already a sale, and I already got it for $10, I think.
Nice. So it's going to be like a brawl out kind of level, yeah, like a mid-price indie game, yeah.
Yeah, it's priced to move. Now this is designed for people to basically be your first 2D fighter. If you're new to fighting games and you can't do a Shoryuken, you just get in here and you do like all your moves with like one button or a direction plus button. It's easy to play, but the fundamental stuff like your spacing, your combos, your throw. Actually, let me tell you about throws later. But
does this have do you know if it has any kind of cross-play type?
I don't think so, but don't quote me on that.
About it in the direct or the whatever. Yeah.
Like Sterling, I think he'd be talking it up by now if he did. But yeah, don't quote me on that.
Okay, so that's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah. So if you want to get into fighting games, check this out.
All right. It does look cool.
Yeah.
For me, the only game that stood out other than that one, what was it called again? Man, I've forgotten the name. Oh, Bomb Chicken. Oh. That looked quite cute, actually. There's like a platformer where you kind of like, you can like stack up bombs to like help you get across things or blow stuff up to reveal secrets. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like Bomberman mixed with like a platform game
with the chicken.
Yeah, or chicken. What was that chicken game that Jules Watson's game?
Chicken Wiggle.
Chicken Wiggle. Yeah, it's kind of like that mixed with a Bomberman.
Yeah. I like the animation in this game. It looks cool as fuck.
Yeah, I thought it looked like a step up in terms of like, you know, animation quality, graphic quality than your regular indie game. Unlike that fucking paper, what was it, the Stickman thing? I was like, come on, people, put some effort into it.
West of Loathing. You know, actually, it runs quite smoothly. It doesn't look bad.
Literally stick figures.
Yeah, they're literally going for that. That's whatever.
Anything else, Dan? What about you?
Yeah, I thought one of the last games that they showed, The Messenger, that 8-bit style ninja action. It's basically Ninja Gaiden, but in the game, as you're playing, there's like little warp portal things that can switch it to like a 16-bit style. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool actually. Yeah, I forgot about that one. It looked hard.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, switching between 8-bit to 16-bit. That's a cool little addition.
Yeah.
Podio, the one that Ty mentioned, also looks kind of cool. Ironically, you actually chose one of the better ones of this list, Ty.
Nice.
But yeah, the other ones were all kind of like meh. Luminous Remastered, I'm sure lots of people are happy about Luminous. Lots of Luminous fans. And it has this thing where you can sync up to like 10 Joy-Cons and they all like vibrate in time with the music. You know, I've heard about the Res doing that, right? Not obviously not on Switch, but like there's that Res, they talked about on this in the 8.4 podcast quite a few times, because Mark McDonald now works with the guy, right? Mizuguchi. That full suit that you wear, and you can play Res and like in VR and with this suit, and it got all parts of the suit vibrate in time with the music. So this is basically let you recreate that kind of feeling, but with Joy-Cons. So if you've got like 8 Joy-Cons lying around, you can strap them to various parts of your body, and then they'll all vibrate in time with the music.
Wow.
But this is Luminous, not Res. I should just to reiterate.
Another game that I thought looked neat is the game that they kind of let off with here, and that's Mark of the Ninja Remastered. And
is that not the game you just talked about?
No, because this one is that one they didn't show any gameplay from what
right, yeah.
Just some like really cool like animations and stuff, but I'm thinking like, is that how this looks in the game, or is this just like a cutscene only?
I heard lots of people saying the sequel is like way better, but this one's still really good.
Okay. Well, this one's coming out like in the fall anyways. And, you know, one thing I also want to reiterate that we didn't really say, I don't think, but there was no Nindies thing in Japan. It hasn't been. Yeah. So that's why sometimes the Nindy stuff is just shoved into Nintendo Directs. So.
Oh, okay. I just quick look at the Mark of the Ninja. It's kind of like 2D platformer, but like a stealth kind of platform game, right. But like really nice, smooth animations and artwork. Trying to think of a comparison I can put, like a Prince of Persia kind of
Warrior Within. Put in some Disturbed.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, that Prince of Persia, right? Yeah, sorry, you threw me there. I was thinking of like classic Prince of Persia.
No. Thinking Warrior Within.
No.
Always.
2D Prince of Persia. That's what I'm talking about. Anything else? Not really. They're really focused on Lightfall, which looks okay. It kind of looks like Shoe, that game that Cyrus talked about.
Exactly what I thought too.
But like darker. I don't know.
And you have like, you know, in Sai's review and stuff, he talks about how in that game there's like this big monster that's always at some point just comes up randomly and starts chasing you. And I seen like in the trailer for this, there's like this is sometimes instances of like this wave coming up, getting ready to overtake your character as he's, you know, platforming the shit out of the level and just trying to get out of the way.
So Mark of the Ninja is the one that they didn't show any footage of, but it's quite a popular game series, and there's a sequel out already, but it's coming to Switch. The first one's coming to Switch, and the one that you liked, Danny, was The Messenger. Yeah, that was the 8-bit / 16-bit ninja game.
Yeah.
The other one, the Banner series, the Banner Saga, which Danny's got down as Badder Saga.
Oh,
brilliant,
sweet.
That's got his fans. I have one of them. I played it a bit. I didn't like it.
Bad North.
I don't, not to say it's bad. I just don't think it's anything close to the kind of game that I would like.
Yeah, I think the collection that they had here was lots of kind of like, you know, lots of ports of like games that have fans, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, okay, that's coming to Switch, cool. Which is what we have every week. So that's what made it weird that they would put a whole direct around it. Because like you check the eShop every week, you're gonna have 5 or 6 of these style games anyway.
Yeah.
So I would have hoped that in the direct they would focus on ones that are like totally amazing, or like coming a little bit further out, but like going to be worth waiting for.
Yeah.
You know, like ultra AAA indies. That's what I want from the direct, not just like 8 random, you know, mediocre to okay indie games. I don't understand why they did that.
at least from how everything was presented, like, you know, like we've been saying, there's nothing that really like blew my socks off.
Right.
And a lot of this stuff is, well, half of this stuff is kind of far out.
Right.
But, you know,
Yeah, that was, and a lot of them didn't have release dates as well, so you can't even get like excited about it. Put it on your
most of
calendar.
them did have at least, I think it's at least this year.
Spring, summer, you know, it's like
no specific release dates, which is kind of bizarre.
Right. I'm sure there are better indie games coming out before any of these games. So, you know, why not focus on those? You know?
Yeah.
They should do, if they're going to do this should be like a monthly thing. And like, you know, coming up this month, you know, and then highlight all the best ones or whatever. That would make more sense. After the Direct, though, there was a trailer for Street Fighter Collection. Which looks like very exciting, and very excited about this coming to Switch. And they actually announced a Switch exclusive mode, which is a motion controlled fireball. No. No.
No, please.
Psych. No, it's actually a local tournament mode. So you can bring, I think it was maybe up to eight Switches, and it's kind of like trying to simulate the old kind of like arcade scene kind of thing. And it'll you can link up like a LAN play, like local LAN, and then you can do a tournament mode, and it'll, you know, swap people around and, you know, sort out all the tournaments for you. So you can do that locally, and that's Switch exclusive.
Local Wi-Fi or local LAN cables?
Well, yeah, same thing. Yeah, local Wi-Fi. And if you bring all your docks and connect them to LAN cables, I'm sure you could do it that way if you wanted to. But I don't think most people would do that. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Cool.
But yeah, you're gonna have to bring your fight sticks with you, unless you all want to split off Joy-Cons.
Once again, I would like to endorse the Brook Universal Fighting Board.
Okay.
Order that bad
box?
boy. Huh?
Is that a tissue box?
No, this is the actual box that the board came in.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. It's just a little circuit board, and you hook your buttons and stick up to it, and you can play on the Switch.
Right on.
And to like 8 other platforms. It's fucking amazing.
Nice. Cool. So yeah, that's a lot of news. A lot of Japanese.
I hope if there's a Brook people out there, they'll start sending me money for shilling.
Right. Sponsored by. What are they called again? Brook?
Yeah, Brook.
I love Brook. Hands down my favorite electronics company. Based out of insert country here.
Yes. All right. Well,
next,
let's go ahead and move on to the feedback. So,
okay.
If you would like your question, comments, criticism, whatever, read out on the air, you can send us an email at thefamicast@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on Twitter at @thefamicast. Hit us up on Facebook at @thefamicast. Hit us up right here on YouTube at @thefamicast. I think you're starting to see a trend here. And you can have your comment or whatever read out on the air like these people.
All right. We actually have a new iTunes review.
Oh, really?
Yes. This is from this. Well, this sounds weird, me reading it out. This is from James from the UK.
Okay. I see what's happening here.
Well, he calls himself Ferrari James. So Ferrari, maybe his first name.
Money,
James is his
we
second
know.
name.
We know you're making that money.
So thanks. Oh no, sorry. He's called James Allen. He's from Bath in the UK. He gave us 5 stars. Brilliant. Thank you very much. He says, great podcast, informative, funny, and a joy to listen to while, quote unquote, working. It's like having a bunch of friends round talking all things gaming and Nintendo. Really enjoy the insights into Japanese culture and gaming. Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work. So, yeah, thank you. Me? I mean, not me.
Thanks, Mr. Charlton. I mean, James from the internet, from Bath, what's the name? Sorry. Not British. You can hate on me. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I will.
Okay. Thank you.
And so yeah, that was How do people review us on iTunes? Well, on Google, I'm not sure if you're going to review us on Google. Well, Danny, you want to talk about your fantastic giveaway?
Yes. So we've kept you waiting here for quite a long time. So you're sitting up there and you're thinking to yourself, God damn, I really want to win $10 or 1,000 yen in eShop credit, but where the hell am I going to be able to do that? Well, guess what? You can do that right through the Famicast. We're having a special contest.
What?
Yes, where all you got to do to enter is write us a review on one of those type of services, Google Play, iTunes, whatever. Well, let's just keep it to like those. I don't know, Windows Store.
Yeah, Windows Play Store.
Yeah, okay, if that exists. Zune, whatever.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, write us a review. It doesn't have to be 5-star, but it fucking better be, or you're out of the contest.
Do that.
So, and then we do have ways that we can see these, but sometimes when it's coming from like some kind of a region that we don't have access to, it's a little bit difficult to get all of this information. So, kind of another barrier of entry, making this hard for you. What we want you to do is take some kind of a screen cap or something of this and then send it to us either at the email, on Twitter, whatever. That way, too, it'd be easier to put you into the drawing and all that. And we're going to go ahead and announce the winner whenever we do the next episode of the Famicast, which is basically 2 weeks from now. What the hell would that be? Or not quite middle of April, kind of still early April. So
April, in it.
Yep. So does that make sense? Did I miss anything?
What do you have to do again?
So
review us on something and then send a screenshot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I can do that.
Cool.
Well, I won't do it, but someone hopefully will.
I'll be watching for Action James from the UK. So.
And they win $10 / 1,000 yen.
Yes.
Cool. Man, you'll be able to get that hentai porn game from the Japanese eShop. Exclusive to Japan.
Yeah, Necopera is coming out for Switch.
There it is.
Oh, we did have one Twitter comment, by the way. I forgot to mention that one. Twitter question, by the way. This is from Lady Lindis. She asks us, do Japanese calendars normally start on Monday instead of Sunday? And the answer is?
I've seen most of the ones I've seen start on Sundays.
Yep, they start on Sunday. The week starts on Sunday, ends on Saturday, which is stupid and kind of annoying because it doesn't. I'm
trying to think. Thai on American calendars, isn't it the same
Monday.
day? Too?
No, usually American calendars that I have been exposed to living and growing up in America do start on Sunday.
Okay. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What's wrong with you people?
Yeah. I'm really confused. I do a lesson with this kid, and at his house they have a calendar. It's a Japanese one that starts on Monday, and my eyes are so used to the Sunday starting. Right. I look at that, I'm like, oh, that's this day. Like, no shit, that's a day off.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like the calendars I see in Japan, they start on Sunday usually, but I can't help but think like every now and then I see one that starts on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess my computer settings are probably set to European settings because my computer calendar starts on Monday. No, I prefer it that way because like get the holidays to the right. I'm not working on those days. Put all the fun stuff in that part of the calendar, and then the worky stuff on the left side of the calendar. It makes more sense for me.
Yeah, I guess it's just what I've been doing my whole life, and I didn't really think much of it.
I think Lady Lindis was asking because the line calendars that we tweet out from our Famicast Twitter account had it was all in kanji. So I guess if you can't read kanji, then you don't know that it says Sunday. But yeah, it started on Sunday. I wonder if that was the one where they had 30 days in February, and they had to redo it.
What did I really?
No. That's the March one. That's fine. They didn't fuck that one up. Yeah. But there was a time where it was like a couple of hours or a day or something where they tweeted a 30-day February calendar.
Oh wow! I must have missed that.
Reagetto.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're running a bit long for this episode, so we'll do some 8-4 questions maybe next time. Any ones that they didn't get around to doing. I'm sure there are a bunch.
Cherry picking.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Please. Yeah. Well, I guess that'll bring us to a close then. So I guess we'll go ahead and give it our Twitter handles. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can. You can follow me at DannyBib. James, where can we follow you?
At Sai.
Oh, yes.
Please
Top of the morning to you, laddie.
Thank you. That's you spell that C-E-R.
Oh man, I think it's the wrong. Okay, but we'll just roll with it. Sure.
There you go.
Or 2D2 says hi.
Or
Ty.
Super Cat Drugs.
That has an R in it.
Yeah. It's me, your boy, Super Cat Drugs, and I've been tweeting out some jokey stuff lately. I've been brushing it off the old Photoshop.
I saw some of the things you mentioned at the start of the show. Exactly one of the things I saw. Yeah, I saw anime, basketball, boobs, and then I saw something about LSD. It's yeah,
sounds about right.
There's a story behind that. It's a really famous Something Awful post.
Okay.
Where somebody recounts how insane some of the things we take for granted on Something Awful are. Like the drug forum. There's a forum about drugs. The myth is that it's for is that it's for like a harm reduction and stuff, but the reality is that a guy comes crashing through the roof into like a French mausoleum of skeletons, and he grabs one by the shoulder and starts screaming at it. Have you tried LSD? Apparently that actually happened.
Or as Ty likes to call it, a Monday.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for Famicast 122.
That's an odd note to leave it on, but yeah.
Great note to leave it on. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me, and thank you all of you out there for listening, and have a good one. We will catch you next time. See ya.
Peace.
Peace.